morning to you. Yes, it is Monday. Can you believe it? We are here again after what was probably, and I hope, a wonderful weekend for you. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso on S3, and it's not just any Monday. Today, it is Mental Health Monday on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. And last week, we spoke about post-pandemic traumatic and, in fact, disorders. So we did talk about the post-traumatic trauma. And this week, we want to focus on mental health in the workplace as we tackle working from home or returning to the office. Now, we have a panel of experts together, health coach Ryan Botha, as well as radio personality Sherlyn Barnes, and of course, one of our resident clinical psychologists, Lindile Mbata. All of them going to be joining you on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. And if you would like to share your experience, or if you have a question to ask, please send us that WhatsApp voice note. We have a special number for that. It's 063 408 8863. It's on your screens right now, and we would love to have you part of that conversation. I'll give it to you one more time. It's 063 408 8863. But it's time for us to get the morning underway and say good morning to Mr. Ryle.
Yes, Mzansi, good morning. I don't know how I feel this morning. I don't know if I'm in just utter disbelief or shock. Obviously, I'm talking about the game and the Premier League ending, a climactic ending this weekend. And of course, we are going to be diving a bit into that. Oh, it had my nerves, let me tell you. But we will get into that in just a bit. But for now, of course, as you heard from Zoe, we're chatting to you this morning, Mzansi. And thank you for joining us. Firstly, my name is Raul Demone. And of course, as you've seen, the conversation, the hot topic this week is definitely mental health. And we want to look after you and serve you, Mzansi. And that's why we're asking the question this morning on social media. Have you ever had to take a break from work because of mental health issues, or just because of your mental health in general? Now, we want to know from you. We want to start this conversation and obviously get people included and make them feel a little bit normal about what's actually going on right now. And the fact is that it is normal to maybe take a break. It's normal to unwind and just declutter, especially when it comes to our livelihoods. And of course, that number, once again, you can send your voice notes to 063 408 8863. That's 063 40 8863. And you can join the conversation with us this morning. We want to share some of those voice notes, share some of your experiences, and maybe just help incentivize each other to open up a conversation that is so important today. And we're going to be definitely continuing that conversation right throughout the day. We do have some specialists coming through on the show this morning, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the magic. It's Monday morning, and it's time to kick it all off. Standing by right now, it's Zoe Brown with the news.
Thank you, Raul. Starting off with national news, Eskom has announced that due to the continued shortages of generation capacity, Stage 2 load shedding will be implemented from 5 p.m. until 10 p.m. throughout the week. The parastatal downgraded load shedding from Stage 4 to Stage 2 yesterday. Eskom spokesperson Sikonati Manchacha said the power utility would limit the rolling blackouts to the evening peaks. Manchacha appealed to all South Africans to help limit the impact of load shedding by reducing the usage of electricity and switching off all non-essential items where possible. And staying with local news, Stellenbosch University Deputy Vice-Chancellor for Learning and Teaching, Professor Daresh Rumjanath, has announced that exams have been postponed by a week. Students were supposed to sit for their first semester exams today. These will now start on 30 May and the recess on 4 July. This, however, is said will not impact the start of the second semester on the 18th of July. The university spokesperson said that the university took into account the mental health and emotional state of students after an alleged racist incident and rape on campus last week. And moving to news abroad, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz is on a 3-day tour of Senegal, Niger and South Africa, his first trip to Africa since the election. Germany is hoping to reduce its reliance on Russian energy following the invasion of Ukraine. Senegal is expected to become a major gas producer in the region, and Scholz will also visit the solar power plant there. Germany has invited Senegal, which currently holds the rotating chairperson of the African Union, and South Africa to attend the G7 summit it is hosting in June. And staying with news abroad, the Ukrainian government says it will not agree to a ceasefire deal with Russia that involves giving up territory. Now, the apparent hardening of Ukraine's positioning against a day after President Vladimir Zelensky said the war could only be resolved through diplomacy. Meanwhile, Polish President Andrzej Duda has become the first foreign leader to address the parliament in Kiev in person. He received a standing ovation as he declared that only Ukrainians themselves could decide their future. He said Poland would do everything it could to help Ukraine join the EU. And Zora Bibi Suleiman, the woman behind the internationally known founder and director of Gift of the Givers Foundation, Dr. Imtiaz Suleiman, has bagged a master's degree in counseling psychology from the University of KwaZulu-Natal. For her thesis, she examined the lived experiences of Muslim women in a polygamy marriage in Durban and surrounding areas. Throughout her life, she has advocated for women's empowerment, independence, and education. She heads a counseling services, Seraline, for women in marriages who are distraught and broken by the actions of their husbands. Now, Seraline has grown immensely and now extends to the public free of charge through telephone and face-to-face counseling. Moreover, she's the co-founder of Gift of the Givers Foundation. She raised 4 daughters and 1 son while her husband flew off to war zones, delivering aid to those who needed it the most. She remains the anchor of the family and is still active in the foundation. And according to Dr. Suleiman, and I quote, "I'm extremely proud of her achievements, and so are all of us." Well, on that note, that's where I leave your morning headlines. Here's a first look at your sport with Ryle.
Thank you so much, Zoe. Now to take a look at the sport this morning and, of course, talk about the soccer that happened this weekend and what an end to the Premier League, with Manchester City winning the Premier League for the 4th time in 5 seasons after a pulsating title race, which reached a dramatic conclusion as the champions staged an incredible comeback from 2 goals down to beat Aston Villa 3-2 on Sunday. Now, Pep Guardiola's side were teetering on the brink of blowing the title after falling 2-0 behind midway through the second half at the Etihad Stadium. But Ilkay Gundogan sparked an astonishing City revival as the German midfielder reduced the deficit before Rodri grabbed the equalizer. Now, Gundogan turned in City's 3rd goal in the space of only 5 minutes, triggering wild celebrations and rendering second-place Liverpool's 3-1 victory against the Wolves irrelevant. Now, on a breathtaking final day, Burnley were also relegated as Leeds beat the drop, while Tottenham Hotspur qualified for the Champions League at the expense of their North London rivals Arsenal, and we will definitely be taking a further look into the action a little bit later on the show. But sticking with the soccer news, and next up in the Serie A, AC Milan have won their first Serie A title in 11 years on Sunday after beating Sassuolo 3-0 to snatch the crown from local rivals Inter Milan. Now, needing just a point to claim the trophy, Milan swept their hosts aside thanks to an Olivier Giroud brace and another from Frank Kessie in the first half in front of an army of away fans at the Mapei Stadium. Now, Stefano Pioli's Milan's finished 2 points ahead of Inter, who beat Sampdoria 3-0 at the San Siro. Now, Napoli were also 3rd after a 3-0 win at Spezia, while Juventus ended their disappointing season under Massimiliano Allegri's, finishing 4th but qualifying still for next season's Champions League. Now, from our soccer news, we head over to the latest when it comes to rugby action that took place this weekend, and the Stormers and Bulls will host valuable home quarterfinals in the United Rugby Championships against Edinburgh and the Sharks, respectively. Now, in the other 2 quarterfinals, log leaders Leinster will take on the Glasgow Warriors, and Ulster will host Munster in an all-Ireland playoff. Now, all 4 matches are scheduled for the first weekend of June, and the Stormers sealed 2nd place on the standings with a bonus point this weekend, 26-21, and that was their victory against the Scarlets, securing the South African Shield in the process as the top domestic team. Now, the Bulls held out the Ospreys for a valuable 38-31 victory to leapfrog the Sharks on the log after the Durbanites were beaten 24-21 by Ulster. Now, the Lions made it 3 from 4 for the South African teams on the road this weekend after they too were strong enough to beat the Dragons, winning by 21 points to 11. And now carrying on with all the latest action this week, and of course moving over to Formula One action, Max Verstappen on the podium. He fought back from an early spin to win the Spanish Grand Prix after title rival Charles Leclerc retired from a dominant lead. Now, it was Verstappen's fourth victory in 6 races this year, helped by Red Bull imposing team orders on Sergio Perez, and it gives him the championship lead for the first time in 2022 as he heads to Monaco next weekend with a 6-point advantage over Leclerc. Now, Mercedes' George Russell took a strong 3rd place, and Leclerc will be pretty upset after his car's reliability after carving out a nearly 30-second gap at the front, only for engine failure to force his retirement from the race. Well, we will be diving into some more of the sporting action, of course, taking a look at the rest of the Premier League action in just a bit. But for now, we're carrying on with the headlines, and standing by, we've got weather with Thabiso Makubela.
Thank you very much, Raul. A very good morning to you, South Africa. We take a first look at your weather. Heavy rains, they lashed KwaZulu-Natal this weekend, forcing some 500 people to flee their homes in the East Coast area. Only a month after the worst floods in living memory claimed the lives of more than 448. 82 reception centers were opened while police, firefighters and rescue workers responded rapidly to emergencies. Elderly people in several villages were evacuated, and the M4 at La Mercy, north of Durban, collapsed overnight after heavy rain. This set of heavy rains also led to mudslides and floods in areas north of the city. Water and power supply to those areas has also been interrupted, and KZN Premier Sihle Zikalala said that they were yet to receive a full comprehensive report on the impact of the latest heavy rains. But as reports came in, a worrying picture was emerging, and some areas are completely unreachable. Disaster management teams and emergency services and all those officials are still on high alert, and the Weather Service yesterday said conditions were expected to improve from today. Our thoughts certainly, as well as our prayers, do go out to everyone affected by these KZN floods. Please do help out in any way and anywhere where you can. And we move on to those sunrise views for this morning captured by you. Stallone Pillay from Umkomas kicked us off this morning, showing off this stunning shot of the sun rising in the distance while he overlooks the ocean. And regular photographer Brian Sipa from Table View also came through, sharing this beautiful, it's stunning. Look at that. It's a beautiful shot of the sky displaying hues of pink while he was on a trail run out in the Table Bay Nature Reserve. We love to see it. Get yours through to us. Remember to use that hashtag Expresso Show. Now, a first look at your temperatures to set you up for a Monday morning. We start off with you, Polokwane. Your low today is 8, reaching a maximum of 18. If you're out in Mbombela this morning, or today rather, 12 is your minimum, reaching a maximum of 20. Pretoria, expect some sun and clouds over the 8, your minimum, reaching a maximum of 20, with sun and rain expected out in Jozi Maboneng. Johannesburg, 7, peaking at 17. Sunny times for Mahikeng, 5, your low, reaching a high of 20, with Klerksdorp coming in at a minimum of 5, reaching a maximum of 19. Kimberley, 5, peaking at 19 as well, with Bloemfontein coming in with those sun and clouds today. 2 is your low, reaching a high of 20. Expect plenty of rain out in Richards Bay today. 13, your low, reaching highs of 19, with sun out in Pietermaritzburg, 9, and a high of 20. Durban expects some sun and clouds today. 14, reaching a high of 22, with a start of 9 for Umtata, peaking at 22. East London, it's a bit of a sunny one for a change for you this week, or rather today rather. 13, reaching a high of 23, with Craddock coming in at a low of 5, reaching a high of 20. GQ, baby, your low is 12, reaching a high of 21, with some sun and clouds expected for George. You'll start off at 11, peaking all the way out at 20. Worcester, that's George. Cape Town, the mother city, 14, peaking at 22, with some sun and clouds expected, and Worcester will come in at 10, peaking at 25. 6 and 19 for Sutherland and Uppington. It's a sunny day for you. 8 is your low, reaching a high of 23, and that's what it's looking like across the country, and hopefully those temperatures do set you up for a feel-good type of Monday. We'll be back with another one in just over an hour.
Thank you, Uncle Tabsy. Well, you know what? We have to kick off this Monday with a quote.
Yes.
And she is one of our guests today, the very inspirational and lovely radio personality Sherlyn Barnes, who is joining to speak openly about her own mental health journey and has been instrumental in, destigmatizing anxiety and mental health issues. She's really been incredible in that. And we have a beautiful quote that we would love to share.
I absolutely love this, and I think it's so pertinent for this morning. Now, the quote she has to share is the following: "You are worthy of the love, the light and lekker vibes that you are so graciously share with the world." Now, I absolutely love this quote, and I think it goes hand in hand with the words of Prem Rawat, who last week also said that we have to start with us and show kindness and grace to ourselves first. How can you fill anybody's cup if you're not filling your own first, and then let that cuppeth overflowed?
The cup runneth over. There we go. And if you or a loved one is currently struggling to cope with your mental health and you need some help, please contact SADAG, that's SADAG, and speak to a counselor. They are also available between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Mondays to Sundays, and you can call them on this number. It's 011 234 4837. That number is on your screen right now. So if you or a loved one needs some help, they are available.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso on S3. And when they say when your personal life is in shambles, it's due for a promotion at work. That's from one of my favorite movies, The Devil Wears Prada. And in all honesty, work is good for mental health, but a negative working environment can lead to physical and mental health problems. And these issues can lead to decreased productivity, poor working relations, as well as increased sick-related absenteeism. And it can also compromise your workplace safety. Now, today we want to discuss mental health as it relates to the workplace, and our panel consists of health coach right in the middle, Ryan Botha. We are also joined by the lovely radio personality Sherlyn Barnes, as well as our resident clinical psychologist Slindile Mbata. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Such an important conversation.
It's a big one, and we do encourage everyone at home to please do join in on the discussion. Send in your voice notes. Our WhatsApp line is live and ready to get those in. It's 063 408 8863. Slee, maybe we'll start with you. Work and mental health. I mean, those two often get seen on the same sort of line because stress, work stress, mental health as a result being affected, that does happen quite often.
Yeah, absolutely, it does. I think work is one of the places where it will be your biggest source of stress. It's sort of like it takes up a huge proportion of your day for a lot of people who do work. So there's quite a lot that can happen in the work environment that actually contributes to either, as Zoe said, to mental health, to feeling good, if you're satisfied and happy with your job, but also if things are not going so well, it really can be the beginning of a huge downfall.
Oh,
and it's a scary one because mental health issues can't always be seen, and what you do see is the after effects of it's reached a certain point already. Sherlyn, this question's for you because I remember being in the car and just hearing the tail end of your story when you were sharing what had happened to you. And I remember going back, making a point of it to listen to the podcast. When you shared your journey, what led up to that point for you?
Sure, Zoe.
It was a lot, eh? And unfortunately for me, like with so many other people, when I realized something was up, it was too late. I don't know if we've been in a car where you check the tank. You can see the petrol tank is closer to empty, but I'll make it to my next stop.
I know my car.
I know my car.
I can push.
We'll be okay. Just one more stop. So that is where I thought I was. I could still make another pit stop. And I went to a therapist thinking that this is the little bit that I need for me to get to December to make it through the year. And instead of making a pit stop, I completely broke down. So that is what happened. And I didn't have any other choice but to just sit there looking at, me and breaking. And then the only thing you can do after you've sat in there, after you've accepted that you're not okay, is to accept help and support, to understand that you are not alone in this, that you are worthy of love and light and care. And once I was ready to acknowledge that I wasn't okay, then I was able to say, please help me, because I'm not going to be okay by myself. And so thank you to professionals like yourself. Thank you like health coaches like yourself. I've realized that if you want to be healthy, you need to be deliberate. Not just about your mental health, but your physical health, because all of these things are connected.
And they really are connected, right? I mean, you spend an awful amount of time having to work on people who come in as a result of having had mental health challenges. They find that their bodies have responded to that sort of pressure. What sort of effects can a toxic work environment have on our physical being and our physical body? Because some people think, no, you'll just sleep more, or no, you'll have headaches because, you get tension headaches. But it's more than that sometimes, right?
It's a lot more. If you look at the last 2 years with COVID, seeing people come in to start training again slowly, they're walking already at the tank being half full. So my job as a health coach or a fitness trainer is to get the best out of a person to find their balance in their lifestyle. Now, if they're already walking at a deficit, how do you make them feel better? How do you get their endorphins up? How do you make their mood feel better? So a toxic environment really makes you feel like you're walking into a space in a dark shadow, and that dark shadow can get heavier and heavier. So with fitness, we do try and obviously encourage, and you've got to try and find that balance to push them without breaking them, because already they are fatigued. So you see that heavy strain, and you walk in, you can hide easily behind a smile. But you can't hide when you start moving, and you can start seeing the heaviness in a person's body. Really.
Slee, I sometimes feel like some companies do, others still don't, but they don't take the employees' mental health seriously. How is that's still the case, where when it comes to a co-worker or employee's mental health, that it's still being overlooked in the workplace?
Zoe, I think this is something that we just see maybe in society in general, that the mental health side of things is generally taken for granted. I think maybe there's a tendency to think of people just as kind of, contributors to resources. Yes, you're a resource to production. You can help improve our profits, and you're not necessarily seen as a whole being with an emotional side, with a psychological side. You're just kind of expected to deliver. So I think taking for granted of the employees' mental wellness and emotional wellness really is, it's really going on a slippery slope, because ultimately you won't even be able to achieve the goals of your business if your employees are not well.
There we
It's
go.
a people-first approach, a people-centered approach, and that's the conversation we're having this morning. It's all about zoning in on mental health, specifically mental health in the workplace. How well are you mentally? Please do weigh in. Send us those WhatsApps, 063-408-8863. And, of course, our panel this morning is going to be on standby to answer some of your questions and hear some of your experiences as well. Stay with us.
Thank you so much, team. And wow, what a panel we have. Indeed, a bunch of experts that are right here at your beck and call, Mzansi. So come through any questions that you have. We've put that number up for you. And of course, we are here to serve you today when it comes to all things wellness. And speaking of wellness, we've got Roxy Lowe, who is no stranger to the fitness world. She's in the studio this morning. She's a surfer, a yogini, a model, amongst many other things. And she's quickly becoming a trusted advisor to many people within South Africa and internationally when it comes to the fitness and wellness space. Now, Roxy's with us this morning to start the week off on absolutely the right note. And the right way is with some yoga sessions from the Queen herself. Roxy, how are you doing this morning?
Morning. Wow, the conversations earlier was really, really good.
Yeah, so pertinent, so valuable right now. Yeah. And especially, I think, with the times that we're living in, we're taking on so much stress, so much anxiety. I think another way to deal with that, of course, is to move and express ourselves. And yoga is a great way to kind of just reconnect,
breathe.
right?
Right.
All right, so let us breathe, Mzansi. This is your opportunity to start your week on the right note. Roxy's standing by. Going to take us through a little flow, I believe.
Awesome, yes. So let's start at the front of the mat.
Okay.
Slowly walk your way there. And we're going to inhale as we lift the arms up. Breathe, feel the air, fill up the lungs. And exhale, just get the body moving slowly and the oxygen flowing. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale. Nice. Inhale. Exhale. Great. Now you're starting to warm up. Inhale, sweep up. And on this exhale, we're going to bend the knees slowly and slowly pivot from the hips down. Beautiful breathing. Grabbing opposite elbows, you can step your feet out a little bit wider and let the neck hang, so let everything just relax. Continuing with that oceanic breath in and out of the nose. We forget to breathe in our days. We're so busy, and breathing really helps control the anxiety. Beautiful. Great. On the next inhale, bring your hands to your shins, straighten out that back, feel a nice stretch. And on the exhale, we're going to bring our hands down, step the left foot back, and then we'll bring the right foot back. So we're going to hold a plank here, building some mental strength. Engage that core, great plank.
Gotta just say, just alone on the breathing, I've already just felt like I'm recalibrating, taking a chance to just connect with the body before the chaos starts to emerge of the week. I think it's so important for everybody just to get that breath in.
Yeah, you've got the option to drop to your knees, but you're nice and fit. So what's lovely about the breathing is I always feel like I arrive here. Like I just arrive on the planet when I start breathing, because I'm so thinking about what's next or worrying about what I did wrong. So it's so nice. Great, drop the knees and then release onto the belly. Great, inhale, slide forward, feel a nice stretch. We're going to hold this for a couple of breaths. You hear some clicks.
Yeah, you can hear the rust of the body coming through there. I'm sure, Mzansi, if you had any sort of a weekend like I did, a little bit of action as well, the body is definitely going to welcome these movements right now. It's starting to just open up, release some of that tightness, and I can really feel with every breath, just a little bit more relaxation settling in right now. And I'm absolutely feeling it right now. Roxy Low in the building. I hope you're joining us, Mzansi. We are finding our zen right now.
Great, tuck your toes under here. And then we're going to use our core and lift the butt. Straighten out the arms. Yeah. More clicks. And you can bend the knees as much as you need to. The idea is to get a straight spine and relax the neck. Okay, so then we're going to slowly tiptoe with no rush, and we're still breathing, to the front of the mat. Again, finding that rag doll. Opposite elbows, just letting everything relax. Allowing fresh oxygen to flush to the brain. Right, then we'll slowly unwind. So releasing vertebra by vertebra. Great, loop the shoulders. Great, inhale, arms sweep up. And we'll find that breath again. Exhale. You can exhale out the mouth here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale.
Oh, honestly, Roxy, I'm got a tear in my eye, just the release of the pressures of the week and the weekend just coming through in this movement. Mzansi, I hope you joined us as well. This was an exceptional session, just recalibrating, finding our breath and just finding a connection with yourself again. And we will be carrying on with these yoga movements. We'll be carrying on with this reconnection and zenning in just a moment. And of course, everything today is about mental health and your wellness, and that's what we're doing this morning, Mzansi, serving you, so don't go anywhere.
Only you can make my day.
Simple as CBD should be.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Oh, yes, it is. Your feel-good breakfast show. It's Expresso. We're live here on S3. It's a Monday morning. All the reason to smile, but all the reason to really do some self-care and check ourselves, okay? And we're back with our discussion about mental health in the workplace, featuring our panel of experts, Ryan Bertha, Sherlyn Barentz, as well as Lee Bata. And earlier on, we explored some of, the negative effects of a toxic work environment on our well-being. And it really can be so dire. And we delve a little deeper now into that discussion, still encouraging you at home to join in on the discussion by sending in those WhatsApps, and they have been coming through, so please do keep them coming in on 063-408-8863.
So before we get to those WhatsApps, Sherlyn, I think as individuals, you were talking about that tank that is empty, and we keep thinking we can push to that next pit stop, we can push to the next. What are some of the lies we tell ourselves, or the things we're trying to convince ourselves that we are okay when actually we are not?
It's exactly what you said, and we are so good at it. And I don't know if we are so socialized into that behavior, because capitalism tells us that the show must go on, work must go on, somebody needs to pay for your bond and your petrol. And I think we also tell ourselves that we are strong. And yes, we are, but it doesn't mean that we are not, that you don't need rest. It doesn't mean that you don't need to take a break. It doesn't mean that, you don't need some time off from work. So balancing that, knowing that, yes, I am strong.
Yeah.
And how do I replenish my energy?
Yeah.
How do I love myself every single day? How am I deliberate about it?
Yes, because I am that strong, I am able to do that for myself, right? Slee, I saw you smile and almost just like, yep, I've heard this one before. People thinking that they find that they're all right. Is that a prevalent thing that just comes across a lot where people say, no, I don't need a therapist. I'm fine. It's just stress. We all go through a patch at work for a year. Oh, we all go through a 5-year patch of stress.
Yeah, absolutely. I think people have a tendency to really normalize some of what it is that they're feeling, sometimes far too much, and you can make a lot of comparisons between yourself and other people, and you think to yourself, okay, well, everyone else at work looks fine, so I guess it's just me. And that's another one of the lies I think that are there. It's just, you know, that comparison and not knowing what other people are going through. You can tell yourself that what you are going through, it's really, you're making too much of it. But yeah, I think there's a lot of things to look out for when it comes to this. You know, it's very important to listen to your body, to listen to your mind and see what it is that it's telling you. So if you are feeling tired all the time, even though you're sleeping well, you're well rested, if you start feeling very cynical, if you start feeling detached, if you start lacking motivation, and you can see even that your performance is changing, it's dropping, you're not yourself. Those are really the times I think you need to, especially if you see more of those in a cluster together. One alone may be fine, but if you start seeing all those things occurring together, it really is time to check what's going on. And I think also to pay attention to what is happening physically that correlates with that. Because sometimes we ignore what our mind is doing, we ignore the feelings that we're having, but the body, that's something that we tend to pay more attention to.
And Slee, sometimes your co-workers can also add to that. So what are some of the toxic traits that you have to be, you know, aware of when it comes to perhaps a toxic boss or a toxic co-worker?
Yeah. I would say a big thing to look out for that tends to kind of multiply itself is boundaries. If you have co-workers or a boss that tends to kind of overstep in their boundaries, they want you to work a little bit extra time all the time, they encroach on your weekend when you're not supposed to work on a weekend. You know, you're getting calls in the middle of the night about emails you haven't answered, things like that. But also people who tend to be inappropriate in their engagements with you. They may tend to kind of speak in a way that you feel is a put down. And you can question yourself. So, you know, being wary of signs like, you know, gaslighting, because those kind of abusive things also do happen at work as well. So I think when you can see that somebody's encroaching on your boundaries, when you're feeling very irritable all the time around a specific person, usually it's one of the signs that something is not quite right there.
And it can be a ticking time bomb. Well, we asked you to send in those WhatsApps, and we've got our first one. This one is all the way out in Pretoria. It's Cindy. Let's hear what Cindy had to say.
Good morning, Expresso team. With my current experience that I had so long ago, I was working and I decided that I needed to resign because the environment was very toxic, that I got depressed. So I needed to remove myself from that environment so that I can start all over again. So it really helped. Your mental health is important. So in order for you to start all over again, you just need sometimes to take a break.
Yeah,
And that's
Cindy.
a big break. That's a big break to take and a huge step to step away from your employment, but being the strength to know that this is not a healthy environment for me. Ryan, you know, when it comes to the physical side of things, what are some of the bad habits you see people start picking up when they neglect their mental health?
Well, the first thing starts doing is they start making excuses for training. You know, you start hearing...
Hey, don't come for us. Hey, don't talk about training.
I'm just saying, you know, you start hearing it's cold, you know, I didn't sleep well last night, I missed a meal. It's the excuses start. Also, the training starts, you know, everyone's got their own specific goals for their own training, what they're there for. But it starts you start to see the shift change, and it doesn't quite achieve that. And they start looking for excuses as to why their training's falling short. A very clear one, like I said to you, though, is purely the excuses. The excuses start thick and fast, and they don't actually make sense. If you step yourself out your circle and you go, and what I was saying now, is it real? It's so blatant that it's not real sometimes. You can hear it, and it's a blatant excuse. And there's nothing you can do about it, besides motivate.
But exhaustion is real.
It is real.
Cardio's not my thing.
Cardio, there's so many ways. There's yoga you can get endorphins from, you know?
But that is so relatable, Ryan. Sometimes when you need the gym the most,
you don't want it.
It's hard to go.
Absolutely.
You don't want to go. But I actually went back for the first time in maybe 2 years, and I reminded myself of this feeling that post-workout
post-workout.
feeling, and I try to hold on to it, and hopefully I'll be back at the gym this
Nice.
That's what I always say.
We're going to go back. We're going to go back.
Yes.
Okay. We're doing this. No excuses. I'm terrible. We're going to be back with our panel. Don't go anywhere, but if you want to weigh in with a voice note, give us a call. It's 063-408-8863. That is the number to use to send through a voice note.
My legs aren't strong.
That panel is getting heated, of course, but what a great conversation. And it is carrying on Mzansi. Don't worry, we got your Monday sorted. And speaking of sorting out your Monday, I know Mondays can be exhausting, especially after a long day, putting in the grind. You're coming home to cooking for hours is probably and definitely the last thing you honestly want to be doing after such a long day. So we have a few simple, no-fuss recipes up our sleeve, and these can be a real lifesaver. And we've got one that I think is going to be perfect for tonight. Now, this is a one-pan chicken drumstick meal. It's made with rice and beans. It's absolutely tasty. It's delicious. And it's the best way to kickstart your evening of relaxation because, yes, you deserve it and you need it. And Yedda Shasa, of course, is the beautiful Jenny Mudd in the building. How are we doing, darling?
I like you.
How are we doing?
You're doing a good deed for the week, eh?
What do you mean? I see you've got the intentional blue Monday, but the red lip is here to pop and break it all up. I don't know if you were listening to the conversation earlier from the panelists. I absolutely love what's coming through there. One thing that I noted was what Ryan was saying about you have no excuse, really. I mean, and you hear some of these excuses coming up when you have some of these issues. And this is a great meal to eliminate some of those excuses, especially when we have so much on our plate. Maybe I can actually call Ryan into the studio right now. I know he's an aficionado when it comes to all things health. Ryan, brother, how you doing, man? Good morning to you. Oh, it's so good having you in the kitchen, brother. Is this a
hello to you too.
I've never seen so much intimidation. Jenny, you put the gents in their place, eh? Hey, you still got it. Listen, man, is this a familiar place for you, obviously being in the kitchen?
Yes.
You're
food
cooking.
prep.
Okay, nice. And I thought I'd invite you in as well. As the gents, you know, just helping out the ladies this time in the kitchen. Let's change the narrative. Let's get involved.
Not helping.
Oh, well, there you go. There we go. Let's get straight into it, Jenny. What can the gents do for you this morning? Ryan and I at your service. What's happening?
Well.
It's quite broad.
Okay, what I have in here is some turmeric, some cumin, some paprika, a little bit of cayenne pepper full of vitamin C.
Yum.
Nice and hot.
Yes.
Yes. Nice and hot.
So the good spices for winter, of course. This is also like some homely stuff.
Absolutely.
What are you normally cooking when you're at home? I know obviously you've got certain periods in your training where you maybe want to cut or you want to bulk, so it's either more carbs or it's no carbs and more protein. What's your go-to, though, in the kitchen?
Protein.
Protein.
For every meal. You know, for me, like, I'm no longer playing sport that requires loss of energy. So my carb intake isn't as big as it used to be. I don't need that long-term burn.
Yes.
So for me, most meals have protein just for muscle recovery. You know, as you get older, also, you don't want your muscles to start biting into each other.
Yeah.
Start eating away. So you don't want to atrophy. So protein, well, you never get old.
What kind of
protein? So protein for me at every meal.
And for me? And for me,
I think protein for everybody. I mean, look how important it is. You notice, I'm sure, with some of your clients, how many people are not hitting their protein goal. Never mind just trying to get into an anabolic state, like you said, but they're just not hitting the mark at all.
Absolutely. You know, protein's like what helps you recover from muscle, especially. You know, if you don't have enough protein in your body, you start to cut into your muscle. You know, as we get older, training with weights is still recommended. You know, you want to cut into with no weights, but you start losing your strength, you start hitting joints. So for me, protein at every meal, obviously manageable protein.
Yes.
Don't overdo it, but yeah.
Talk to me, what kind of protein?
Well, it depends on the person.
And how much
vegan, I suppose you can't have chicken or tuna, but you know.
Tuning.
But you know, it depends on you, your age, your size, your body. I can't say for certain.
Really?
But I mean, definitely the chicken over here is going to provide some good protein.
Absolutely.
Some beans and chickpeas.
Chickpeas are fantastic.
Protein.
We've got
So
some
not going
rice.
for the chicken option.
Yes.
You've always got that meat-free alternative.
Absolutely, yes.
I know we're talking a lot actually, and we're distracting Jenny from the final.
I'm
meal
never
here, and
distracted.
Ryan,
Absolute
stop
professional.
It,
I'm paying attention. Okay, let
what's
me tell
happening
you
with
what's
this
in my pot. Number one, this is a beautiful dish because you're talking about stresses of people coming home.
Yeah.
And whatever, one pot cooking. So it saves all the flavor. We're going to deglaze with everything that is in nothing wasted. A lot of protein, darling.
Nice. Good.
You could actually do this with chickpeas and add maybe some cheese for a non-vegan person and dump the chicken. Maybe some paneer would be very nice.
Yeah, now we're talking.
And maybe some beans and some lentils and turn
Lentils,
into
I
that.
do love a lentil, one like.
But this has got the rice in it, and what we're going to do is we're just going to close it and let it just suck up, and all that beautiful juice and that lovely stock is going to just make those rice swell. And it's going to be absolutely delicious.
Thank you, so much, Jenny Moss. Well, it's getting definitely hot in the kitchen right now. We've got Ryan Burter standing by, one of our panelists. We're talking about all things when it comes to mental health and looking after you, Mzansi. The conversation will continue. We need to get them out of the kitchen because it's getting way too hot right now. But you can get this recipe at expresso.com. It's the perfect Monday treat. You can make it in a pot, just one pot. So that means less dishes and more time for you and your relaxation.
One in two healthy South African women suffer from iron deficiency. Speak to your healthcare professional about getting tested and treated for iron deficiency. Brought to you by FerryMed.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You are back in time as we continue our discussion about mental health in the workplace, featuring our panel of experts. We have Ryan Burter, Sherlyn Barnes, as well as Slim Mbata. And earlier we explored how a negative working environment, coupled with, in fact, burdens of mental ailments, can be devastating to your own health. Now, experts are now here, and we want to leave you on a positive note. And they are also not only talking to you, but employers, and how you can cultivate a more positive working environment. And we really encourage you at home to be part of this discussion. Please send through those voice notes. Our number is 063 408 8862.
In fact, voice notes, we'll get straight into it. Nono out in Joburg has quite a bit to say. Nono?
Back in 2020, I was admitted in a psychiatrist hospital because I was in an abusive relationship, and I opened my eyes when I almost got killed. He strangled me, and I was depressed and admitted in a psychiatrist hospital so that I can regain my life again.
No. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And I'm so sorry that you've had to go through that experience. No. And it brings us to our first question around this subject, is that, yes, mental health in the workplace and mental wellness is important, but working from home, while most might think is an intervention to people who suffer with mental health issues at work, sometimes is a trigger where you are actually working from home in an environment that's constantly triggering memories and experiences of toxicity. Hey, do you find that that's happening a lot, that with mental, being in isolation or being in an environment that really is otherwise removed from the support of the office might be problematic too?
Yes, definitely. I think there's actually a lot of protective factors in the office space because it's completely separate, you know, from your home environment. But as you said, there's a lot that can happen in the home environment that's actually can be quite disturbing and destabilizing, really, for your mental health. So, for example, I mean, I know Nono just shared that voice note with us, but you can imagine if you are in that same home where some of those things have happened, it can be very destabilizing for your mental health. So I think it's quite important to try and put things in place when you are exposed to that, or you know that working from home is going to be difficult. So definitely, you know, having things like putting in a structure for yourself. When you're at work, you kind of know, I should be in a meeting at this time, I should be doing this at that time. But when we're at home, you just sort of want to wing it and see what happens during the day. But really, as human beings, I think we thrive on structure. So having some kind of timetable for yourself, having a routine for yourself and making it regular. You know, get up, shower, eat your breakfast,
make your bed,
put on clothes, you know, and kind of like set a tone to say, okay, I'm now putting on clothes. It doesn't have to be the fanciest clothes, but get out of the pajamas and get into work mode.
Mindset.
Yes, absolutely. And I think setting those times for yourself in the day as well, where you get to take breaks. If you were at work, you would be getting up maybe now and then to go grab some water, make a cup of tea. So setting that time to sort of get up, take a break, walk around the block, walk around your apartment, sit in the garden. All those things are very, very important.
It is very important. I love how you got very practical there. And Ryan, I know during the lockdown, you brought out a survival guide online on how to keep your mental health in tip-top shape. What inspired you to do that? And can you just tell us a little bit more about the survival guide?
You know, it's exactly that. You know, people going up for Zoom meetings and wearing boxer shorts and suits on top.
I've done that.
So it was, you know, I was just thinking to myself, you know, how do you keep your mindset strong and keep you driven in one direction? And I found, as human beings, we set goals and targets for ourselves. So a basic structure was, how do I start my day? Wake up in the morning, get up, make my bed, brush my teeth, have my breakfast. So that structure kept your mind moving forward. You know, otherwise it's very easy to sit there and just wallow in your own thoughts. You know, like you're saying, not actually being productive, doing your job like you should be doing. And being at home, working from home, I completely agree with you, can be actually self-sabotaging because you're sitting in this festering by yourself with no communication, anyone else around you. It can feel very lonely. You know, so set those goals, wake up in the morning, set a to-do list for yourself, so that by 7:15, if you can include in there 50 minutes of movement to get your endorphins up, fantastic. But I just found having that structure kept you feeling like your life was structured and kept you moving forward.
All right, Sherlyn, we've got plenty of questions for you, and we want you to leave some of those practical tips yourself as well. But Ethel has something to say to us. She weighed in on a voice note. Ethel, good morning.
Good morning, Expresso team. The topic of today really triggered me. At the moment, I'm working in a toxic environment, and I'm really, really, really depressed. It's not the first job. I worked previously at a company where I had to resign because of depression, because of the work environment, because of people, management not making my life easy, always backstabbing, and now I'm in the same environment. And like even this morning, I told my husband when I woke up, I don't feel like going to work. I feel like crying. I feel like just turning around. But now I need the money. You know, so I never thought other people also felt this way, that a working environment can really make you depressed.
All right.
But yeah.
Ethel, thank you so much for sharing. I mean, it's heavy, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, we will continue this conversation later. I know, Sherlyn, for you to just get up and going and start your day ahead. How do you do it? Because you've had to restart and really get your mindset in the right way.
Before I answer your question, can I quickly just say something to Ethel?
Of course, please.
So firstly, Ethel, thank you. Thank you for sharing. She just said that she thought she was the only one going through what she was going through.
Yeah.
And because she shared today, someone else is empowered.
Yeah.
I'm not alone. Ethel's there. So thank you for that. Back to what these incredible people also said, the importance of structure and control, and structure and routine. you need to control the things that you can control when everything is out of your control. So for me, the important thing is the power hour. I'm very deliberate about how I spend the very first hour of my morning. I wake up at 5, I make myself a lovely cup of tea, I stretch and I meditate, and I learned a 5-step routine. It's not my own, I can't even remember who influenced me, but it works, and hopefully it'll work for you too. So just 5 steps, just 5 minutes. Step 1, breathe. Inhale all that serves you. Exhale all that does not. Inhale love. Inhale light, inhale goodness, inhale positivity, inhale confidence, and exhale. And then you put on a beautiful smile.
Oh, come on.
Smile for a minute. You just sit there, close your eyes, open your eyes, and you just smile. Third, exhale, release, forgive, and start with yourself. I forgive myself for hurting myself. I forgive myself for hurting those around me, and I forgive those around me who have hurt me. And then gratitude. What are you grateful for today? You know, the more grateful you are, the more you'll get. And then finally visualize your day. What do you want for this day? What do you need to do? What do you want to do? And most importantly, how are you going to deliberately love yourself? Because it's your responsibility. My mental well-being is my responsibility. Yes, it's great that there are professionals, friends, and family that help me, but you are worthy of your own love first. And when you get that it's your responsibility, your ability to respond, beautiful things happen. Power.
I love that. It sounds like we have to be very intentional in the way that we approach this, so that we're not digging into each and every single day. It's about really zoning into it, being very deliberate and intentional with our actions. Ryan, Slindile, and Shirley, you've been fantastic. Zoe, thank you so much for this beautiful conversation. It continues on your voice notes all throughout the morning. Empower others through your experiences.
Thank you so much, team. And it's time to carry on with empowering everybody right now. And maybe this is a message to you, Mzansi, and you can start incorporating those healthy habits into your day. Right here, right now, you can get out of bed, get off the couch. You can join myself and Roxy Lowe, because she's back this morning. And we're going to go through another yoga session on your Feel Good Breakfast show. And of course, the beauty of yoga is that you don't have to be a yogi or a yogini to only reap the benefits. Because whether you're young, old, overweight, getting fit, just getting into the business, yoga honestly has the power to calm the mind and strengthen the body. So let's do that right now. Let's incorporate some healthy habits for us and Mzansi. What do you got for us?
Cool. Well, we're going to do an empowering yoga flow.
Beautiful.
So going from the breathing into a little bit of a warrior pose.
Right. And how important that breathing really was. Obviously, just discussing that. It's such an important part of this, right?
Calms the central nervous system, takes you out of flight, and it really brings you, like I say, you really arrive here in a present state, which is amazing. So you can bring your palms down. So this is super empowering, the warrior pose. And we'll stand here and breathe. Great. And then you can bring your right arm hand down to your inner thigh, and your left hand swing it over so you feel a nice stretch on the left side. Reach, reach, reach. Great. And we continue to breathe. I really enjoyed that 5-step that the panel were talking about earlier. It's super important, the breathing.
Yeah.
And movement, I'd like to include in that.
I definitely resonate with the breathing, I can say. Just in that first session even, just taking cognizance and awareness and being present in that breath. It really just draws you back to center, like you mentioned earlier. And especially on the show, I mean, we have so much going on, and it sometimes feels like chaos. It completely gets eliminated when you just hone in on your center and you find that sort of space of solace and just breathe through it. You honestly feel so much better for it.
Great. So right up. Perfect. And step forward. And then we'll do the same on the other side, balancing that out. So step the right foot back, find the warrior, and then back to the breath. And it's so nice to breathe, even if you have a little lunch break, if you're at the office and you feel overwhelmed, just taking that little breath.
Yeah. I find so often with many of us, the way we sit and stand, we limit ourselves from taking a full breath. And how often do you really actually just open up your lungs and breathe properly? I seldom see it, and I often see everyone just taking these shallow breaths. So again, just on that note alone, inviting good energy into the body, wholesome, nourishing stuff that can feed us throughout the day.
Yeah. Drawing that stretch, and again, opening the lungs, breathing.
So we're out here with Roxy Low, obviously getting our center, finding our place of solace, getting into our zen and recalibrating right now. And it's all about breathing. The importance of it is so valid right now, especially when it comes to our mental health. And Roxy and I will be standing by, and we'll be chatting a little bit later. We had an incredible weekend, and we definitely want to fill you in on that. And of course, I hope you joined us for this session, because the magic will continue. We'll see you later.
Only you can make my day.
Your generosity can ignite a love for reading amongst our youth. Share your homegrown story. See Cadbury Story Edition packs. There's a glass and a half in everyone.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
It's a busy day ahead. We have Will Lindley performing for you, as well as more yoga with Roxy Low. But now let's quickly catch up with this morning headlines.
Thanks very much, Zoe. It's just gone 1 minute past 7. Time for those news headlines. We start off with our national news. All emergency response systems in KZN have been activated following the heavy rains this weekend, which resulted in flooding in several areas. On Saturday, the South African Weather Service issued a level 10 red warning for torrential rain and strong winds, which later battered the coastline. And this is the second time that the province has been hit by severe flooding in just over a month. Areas most affected by the heavy downpours are Umlazi, south of Durban, Otongati, Westbrook, as well as Umdloti, north of Durban. More news on this later in our weather report. Now, Eskom has announced that due to the continued shortage of generation capacity, stage 2 load shedding will be implemented from 5 p.m. until 10 p.m. throughout the week. The parastatal downgraded load shedding from stage 4 to stage 2 yesterday. Eskom spokesperson Sikonati Manchanja said that the power utility would limit the rolling blackout to the evening peaks. Manchanja appealed to all South Africans to help limit the impact of load shedding by reducing the usage of electricity and switching off all non-essential items where possible. So please, let's heed that call. In international headlines, Australia's new leader has vowed to take the country in a new direction with a big shift in climate policy. Anthony Albanese, who won Saturday's election with the opposition centre-left Labour Party, said Australia could become a renewable energy superpower power. He is to be sworn in as Prime Minister today, but it's not clear whether his party will have a majority in Parliament, as 3 million postal votes still have to be counted. Climate change was a key concern for voters after 3 years of record-breaking bushfire and flood events over that side. Staying in international headlines, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz is on a 3-day tour of Senegal, Niger, as well as South Africa, his first trip to Africa since his election. Germany is hoping to reduce its reliance on Russian energy following the invasion of Ukraine. And Senegal is expected to become a major gas producer in the region, and Scholz will also visit a solar power plant there. Germany has invited Senegal, which currently holds the rotating chairperson of the African Union, and South Africa to attend the G7 summit that it is hosting in June. Staying abroad, on Japan's world-famous bullet trains, dogs usually have to travel in a carrier, okay? But on Saturday, they could stretch their paws on a special pet-friendly express. 21 ferry passengers boarded the sleek Shinkansen train in Tokyo for a 1-hour ride to the resort town of Kurosawa with their owners. 4-legged day trippers on board the first ever doggy holiday. That's what they're calling it. It's called a doggy holiday service run by Japan Railways, which included Pomeranians, Terriers, Corgis, as well as Chihuahuas. You can imagine what that spectacle was like, and usually pets must be in a holder and not weigh more than 10 kilograms. But on Saturday, an entire carriage was dedicated to the pooches as part of a pilot project organized by the railway company JR East. A railway official, Shino Furukawa, said that they were keen to organize more regular pet-friendly excursions out in the future. And Japanese trains are famous for being spotlessly clean. Yes, you can imagine that. And of course, one of the major challenges was to maintain that impeccable standard on board, and staff thus had to put plastic covers on all the seats. And they even brought in 4 air purifiers into the carriage, which was spruced up after the trip. I mean, that's VIP traveling, okay? That's where we leave it for now. Here is a look at your weather with Zoe Brown.
Thank you, Tabiso. And now we take a look at a glance at your international weather. Days of flooding and landslides in parts of Bangladesh and eastern India have affected millions of people and claimed more than 50 lives. The 2 countries are prone to flooding, and experts say that climate change is increasing the likelihood of events such as this around the world. Meanwhile, in Spain, parts of the country are experiencing their hottest May ever, with temperatures of more than 40 degrees Celsius in some places, says the state weather agency. The city of Jaén in southern Spain recorded its highest ever May temperatures of 40 degrees Celsius on Friday. Climate change is bringing more heat waves, which are more intense. And in southern Canada, almost 1 million homes were left without power on Saturday after a severe storm hit the provinces of Ontario and Quebec. Wind gusts reached 132 kilometers an hour during the storm. The power thunderstorm lasted more than 2 hours. Our thoughts and prayers are certainly with all of those currently affected. Well, with your weather news, we also love to show off those sunrise views captured by you. Now, JP Malharbour from Robertson kicks us off for 7 a.m. with this clear sky, beautiful day ahead, and the sun slowly rising behind the trees. And then Nigel Riley from Cork Bay shared this stunning image overlooking the area, and this is showing off the mountain and the harbour captured from the top of Boys Drive. Absolutely beautiful. If you have a sunrise photo that you'd love to share, please do so on the Expresso Facebook page. But let's look at those temperatures for today. We head on over to Limpopo. If you're in Polokwane, expect a low of 8, a high of 18. Mbombela 12 with a high of 20. Pretoria 8 reaching a high of 20. Johannesburg 7 with a high of 17. It's sunny in Mahikeng, 5's your low, 20 your high. Klerksdorp 5 reaching a high of 19. Kimberley 5 also reaching a high of 19. Moving to Bloemfontein, your low is 2, your high 20 for today. A rainy day in Richards Bay, a low of 13, a high of 19. And in Pietermaritzburg, a sunny day reaching a high of 20. Durban 14, 22. Mthatha 9, 22. A sunny day in East London, 13's your low, 23 your high. Cradock 5 reaching a high of 20. Gqeberha 12 reaching a high of 21. George 11 with a high of 24 today. Cape Town 14 reaching a high of 20, Worcester 10 reaching a high of 25, Sutherland 6-19, and a sunny day ahead in Uppington. Your low is 8, your high 23 degrees Celsius. And that's where I leave your weather for now on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Thank you so much. So, of course, there's so much action to chat about, especially what happened this weekend, Tubbs. I don't know if you saw the sport.
Premier League action.
Absolute madness. Of course, I'm going to be chatting to Mike Pedro, our resident sport director, and as well as honing in on some of the skills with an ex-rugby, an ex-soccer legend himself. Ryan Porter's obviously in studio as well, so we'll be chatting about that in just a bit. Don't go anywhere.
And then we're de-stressing as well, so we'll see you in a bit.
Nice.
I hope you'll always know how much I love you. I hope that you never stop learning and growing. That you'll be brave and joyful and kind. And that one day, when you look at me and I look at you, we'll love the wonderful you that you've become. It all begins with purity.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Yes, Mzansi, I am forcing the smile right now. To be honest with you, we're talking about the latest action this weekend, and Man City retained the Premier League title, and it was in absolute dramatic fashion on the final day of the season, coming from 2-0 down to beat Aston Villa 3-2 on the day. On top of that, Liverpool were made to work for their 3-1 win over Wolves, but it was not enough as they lost out by only 1 point. So we've got some specialists here to review the important matches, of course, and an ex-soccer star, Ryan Porter, standing by along with Mike Pedro. Gentlemen, all Liverpool supporters, might I add, and I can see these smiles are disappointment. How's it feeling, gents? Firstly, let's talk about the game.
Yeah, I think the day as a whole, it was sort of the hope that got you. I don't know about you guys, but watching the games and following Liverpool's game and just focusing on that game and then hearing the updates from Man City, you think when it gets to 2-0 to Aston Villa,
surely,
like, this is it. The impossible is going to come true. And then in 5 minutes, City score 3 goals and you're like, well, here we go again.
Well, let me just set the scene, Mzansi. If you don't know what happened this weekend, obviously Liverpool were chasing the title against Man City. They were 1 point ahead. Essentially, City had to draw or lose, and Liverpool had to win in order to take that title. And minutes into the game, you hear that City are down 1-0 against Aston Villa. You think to yourself, finally, Steven Gerrard, finally, you owe us, right? Right, let me ask you, man, you're an ex-player, and the way I was watching the game this weekend, obviously, all the games are happening simultaneously, and there's a lot of conundrums at play, right? So when Villa go up 1-0, you think to yourself, on the Liverpool side of the game, you've got Liverpool versus Wolves. This is incentive. Liverpool were 1-0 down. They need a first draw. They had a quick draw on their comeback, so it was 1-1. How does that feel, dealing with that pressure on the day, hearing all this information? Does it affect you, or is the goal always the goal, regardless of what's happening?
No, it definitely affects you. I mean, if you look at that Liverpool squad, for example, and City, actually, they're both world-class teams.
Yeah.
And you start seeing the details of the game falling flat. So that pass from A to B, which normally in any given Sunday would be a perfect pass, now it's going astray.
Task on its own. But then when the scoreline starts changing, I think that's when, for all of us as fans of Liverpool, that belief sets in. You realize we can do this until City make that change. Gundogan comes on, a mad assist, a mad goal. Almost like synonymous of what I remember Sergio Aguero, 94th minute to win the Premier League a few seasons ago. Such heartbreak once again. What's your feelings with that? Because at first, entering this, you think to yourself, look, the Champions League's where it's at, the treble's good, we've had a fantastic season, but then you get blessed with this hope. It kind of made things worse, right?
It did. It made things a hell of a lot worse. I think overall, if you look at the day, it played out the way that people expected in terms of the results themselves. I mean, everyone expected City to beat Villa. Everyone expected Liverpool to beat Wolves.
And he is expected to win, and you're hoping and praying for a miracle. And that almost came, but again, it's just showing you the resilience. What does it take, having that pressure 2-0 down for a team to come back against the frustration? I mean, that's often when you can leave yourself open, but yet they do the job. Is that kudos to the team? Is that kudos to the manager making that big substitution? What's your thoughts on that, Ryan?
For me, it's both. You know, you got to have a bunch of 11 players in the field that are prepared to do a job, prepared to fight for 95 minutes. You know, it's the manager's role to now look in and go, well, which player in this moment of the game will bring in a key player? If you look at Liverpool, Origi, for example, how often does he come on and change the game for us? Just Barcelona, top of our heads. He's popped up at clinical moments. You know, so for me, City's got 22, 23 squad man, very deep, and that's 22 quality players. Pep he's gone from league to league and won the league. Yes, you can say it's at the top teams, but really and truly, having a manager, Real Madrid years ago, the Galacticos didn't do anything with a squad of 30 big players. So for me, it's a bit of both. It's having a team that know what they need to do, how to finish a game off, and having a manager knowing what to do to bring the best out of them.
Oh, absolutely. Couldn't agree some more. Obviously, gents, we are having an incredible conversation about everything that happened this weekend. We'll continue this in part 2 of a discussion, talking about some of the top 4 teams and some of the relegation teams as well. In just a bit, don't go anywhere, Mzansi, but for now, it's time to move your body like a snake now. See you soon.
Thank you, Ral. You know what? I got a little bit jealous when he got to do all the yoga with Roxy, but now it's my turn. And with it being a Mental Health Monday, we had the panel discussion, and now we want to finish it off with another yoga session to really center ourselves and to prepare us for the new week ahead. Roxy Lowe has been with us all morning, and she's about to take me through one of her routines. And you mentioned breathing being so important. Sherlyn Barnes mentioned the importance of breathing. And I'm at that stage now where I'm like, okay, I'm prone to making excuses. I haven't been in the gym like I'm used to. So you are here to help me shake myself out of that funk.
Yeah, and just to breathe. And that also helps. It helps with the brain fog. It helps to get you out of a funk. So
brain fog.
That's another one to get the morning.
Yes.
It's a good way to kickstart the morning. Okay. So we'll do what we did with Riley. Inhale, big breath. Catch the breath. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. Can you feel the difference already?
Already.
Inhale. And exhale. Release down. Great. And we're going to step our right foot forward, finding a high lunge. Great, so align yourself, so you'll find your 2 hip bones are shining forward, then you're in the right position. You could step back a little bit. If you find your balance, you can either bring your arms up, if you want to challenge yourself, or you can keep your hands on your hips and engage the core. breathing here. Now we start staring at a point to really get that mental focus. So you're looking at a fixed point in front of you. And again, finding your breath. Great, slice open for a warrior 2. So you're going to plant the back foot down and then bring your arms on. Beautiful. This is a super empowering pose. Finding your center, breathing here. A nice way to relax, and we often forget, so put your tongue on your palate. And then you breathe through the nose. If your tongue's not on your palate and you bring it there, this helps unclench the jaw.
And I find I sometimes forget to do this myself, is in through the nose, out through the mouth.
Yes. Big exhales. Great. You can release, bring your left foot forward. And we'll balance that out. So you step the right leg back, find that high lunge again. And find what you did earlier, whether your hands were on your hips or your hands were up, challenging the balance. The lovely thing about yoga is you can be, obviously there's varieties, so at any level, at anywhere, you can have the beginner, or you can put your arms up for more advanced. It just depends on where you are at, even on that particular day.
Okay, well, I'm keeping my hands on the hips. I find I'm more balanced one side than the other.
Definitely. It's funny how that is.
It is always like that. But of course, the balance is important, not only when it comes to your yoga and your breathing, but also in life as you head into the new week ahead. Roxy, thank you for joining us today. If people want to follow you and be part of the yoga lessons that you offer, where can they get a hold of you?
They can find me on my Instagram account, and they can get directed through the bio at Roxy Lowe. And then, yeah, pop me a message and I'll assist. I'll guide you in any direction that you need.
There we go. Well, we are going to namaste right here, and we'll see you in just a bit.
Thanks, Zoe.
Gynagard, feminine hygiene mastered.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, Mzansi, welcome back. Your Feel Good Breakfast Show, of course, chatting about all the magic that happened this weekend at the Premier League. Part 1, we had a great discussion, which is focusing on the title race winners, but there is still much to be discussed. We've got Champions League places and relegations that have been decided this weekend. Arsenal and Spurs were gunning for that final Champions League place, while Leeds and Burnley were scrapping it to stay in the league. Now, we're carrying on with our new panel. We've got Ryan Botha, the soccer star, as well as Mike Pedro in the building right now. Gents, obviously, let's detract away from our team right now and let's talk about some of the other chaos that happened this weekend. There was so much going on. I think you needed to honestly be watching 8 games in total to really get a feel of what was happening, because we also had, like I mentioned now, Spurs and Arsenal making a big comeback in the latter half of the season, kind of finding themselves, and it was a big bite between who's going to get that last chunk of the top 4 spot. But it seems like Spurs finally clinched it on the day, and especially if we take their run-up into account. I mean, from you, Mike, seeing that team kind of finding their form once again after a lot of obstacles along the season, it's good to see, right?
Yeah, I mean, from a Spurs perspective, midway through the season under Nuno, they were very inconsistent.
Yeah.
And I think at the moment, now that they've secured that Champions League spot, I think a lot of Spurs fans are very...
Let's hear what he has to say about all the action that happened this weekend.
All I'm going to say is that Manchester United has got 13 league titles. Man City has got 6 league titles. Liverpool, 1.
All right.
I can't believe we just played that on air. How dare you play that? Look, the best thing about all the gents here is that we are gentlemen and we don't live in the past. We're all about the future. We're all about what's happening in the current situation. And yes, Liverpool have had their fair share of spoils and disappointment, but I'm proud of our team, gents. I mean, from where we have come, it's comments like this don't deter me. They don't agitate me anymore because you see the class on the day.
Yeah.
So I respect that, Grant. Kudos to you, and well done, Crystal Palace there with that 1-0 victory to play out the season. No, but obviously, like I said, obviously United salvaging what they can. They had a lot to play for, a lot to prove this season. Obviously, not everything coming together. But it definitely does feel like the team has a lot of work to do, especially in this new transfer season. They're going through a transition, which I think we've all dealt with before. A hard thing to deal with. Before we get into that, though, Farouk also had a comment to say. Let's hear what he has to say about this weekend's action before we tuck into all the other magic of the weekend.
Best team ever, Man City. Oh, and one more thing. Happy birthday to my wife. I think it's the best gift City could have given.
Ah, you definitely deserve it, man. You're City fans out there. Well done, guys. Class performance again, and a great opportunity to celebrate your birthday. Gents, it was not only, of course, the top 4 that was being fought out for in this weekend's clash. We've had 3 relegations taking place. Obviously, Norwich and Watford were already out of the count, so they were relegated. But fighting for it were Leeds and Burnley. Obviously, a lot at stake. Basically, if Burnley were to be playing and win their game against Newcastle, that would have put them ahead, right? Unfortunately, though, on the day, Newcastle taking the Trumps 2-1 victory. Did you get a chance to watch that game amongst it all?
I didn't, to be honest.
Didn't even hit that record.
That's it, right? It's like, I didn't even focus on anything. It was all about the top.
But I think if you look at the team that stayed up, Leeds, ending up staying in the Premier League, I think that's a credit to Jesse Marsh. Coming in, changing a few things, making them a little bit more solid on defence, because under Marcelo Bielsa, they were fantastic to watch. But from a tactical point of view, it was just everybody going forward, everyone attack, and it left them so vulnerable at the back. I mean, their goal difference was like -39 or something.
He's a very attacking-minded manager. But if you look at Norwich as well, Norwich, for me, play enterprising football. They play exciting football. Just as goes to show that the modern game has changed so much that you now got the bottom team to the top team all competing. But it's the fine-tune of the quality players you have in your squad, the depth you have to your squad. You know, the manager, which we now spoke about tactics, because a manager can be completely forward-minded thinking, like Klopp is, for example. But you've got to have the structure that once you go forward, how do you adjust to get back and defend that? Because you can't just go one direction. You've got footballs in both directions, and at that level, the transition from attack to defence and back again is incredibly quick. So
I think it also adds to the value of defenders right now. If you look at the league prior years, it was always about who's signing the latest striker, who's got the best attack, but you can see how important defence has become, and you see the results in some of the games. I mean, many people say the Premier League, one of the hardest leagues, and I think it's definitely because of that. Some of the best defenders in the world are playing at that league. And on top of that, you take the season, you take that management into account and what's been done. I mean, I look at Jurgen Klopp having Thiago go off pre this Champions League weekend. That's a massive blow.
Massive.
You can manage your team to a certain extent, but the players also need to come through to the party and also be able to survive a season. I've never seen a Premier League or a league in general be this intense like I have this year. So again, kudos and well done to Manchester City. Incredible performance this weekend. Gents, this discussion has been good. It's great to share some of the pain with some of our Liverpool fans. For all the rest of you out there, Liverpool supporters, don't be disappointed. It's been an incredible season already. 2 titles in the bag, 1 more potentially coming up for those Champions League hopefuls, and so much magic this weekend. Thank you for the voice notes as well. And of course, good luck to all the teams. We wish you nothing but the best for the next seasons to come. It's going to be an exciting one. And of course, the show's still going on, so don't go anywhere, Mzansi. The magic continues.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Ryle. Now, whenever Jenny Morris is in the kitchen, she shoots and she scores with her winning recipes. This next one is no exception.
So, we've had classic fashion from Timby, classic cars, thanks, Chad, and we've seen classic hairstyles. And you, Michael? Classic!
A classic range from Clover. Timeless taste.
Made with love by Clover.
Oh, let's get down to business, okay? Because there are so many different ways to make and serve pizza. One of our favorites, well, an all-in-one pan, and it's the perfect way to treat the whole family. Jenny Morris shows us why this is guaranteed to be one of those classic timeless taste recipes that will never, ever, ever get old. Jenny Morris, welcome.
It's a classic like me,
It's a classic
darling.
like you. We got Sherlyn in the house as well, helping us out in the kitchen this morning. Sherlyn, if you were a soccer player, okay? Speaking of Jenny scoring and dribbling and doing everything else, what position would you play?
Definitely defense.
Defense.
Control freak.
I'm going to get some of our Clover Classic fat spread in the oven. About 30 seconds, you want me to do that, Jenny Morris, before we get into the recipe.
So, darling, you're going to mix that into the center. I'll give you some salt. Okay. And then we're going to take our Clover Classic.
All of this?
All of it, darling. All of it. I'm a control freak in the kitchen.
Yeah.
See,
What position would you be? What would you play? Yeah.
You know, I could be a goalie.
A goalie?
I could be a goalie.
Boss, I did
I always score. Yeah, I'll stop you from scoring.
And she scores before she even throws the ball. That's Jenny for you, baby. Don't say I didn't tell you. But you do. Well, this recipe is sure going to be making a lot of people go through that. Now, Clover Classic is an ideal and versatile fat spread that can be used daily for spreading. You can use it for cooking and baking as well. 30 seconds, it's gone in the microwave in there, and it contains 7 vitamins, and it's made with a touch of clover cream for that smoother spreadability, which you really do want in a fat spread. Have you gotten it in there already?
She's gotten it in there already.
Control
I don't want to overcook my So we're going to mix it, then we'll flip it out, and we'll turn it into a lovely ball of dough. But we've got one made up front. So that only has yogurt, some salt, and it has our Clover Classic, which is going to enrich it and make it fabulous.
Fabuloso. Shelton, you seem very, very comfortable doing that. I'm gathering that this is your thing.
Why are you a big fat liar?
No. You are.
Me in the kitchen, not very comfortable, but I do feel good having this professional next to me.
You see what I'm talking about?
Sweet.
It's the focus with which Sherlyn is going in on that bowl. I love it. Okay, so now you're getting it all in a nice sort of like flat
well,
right?
kind of into sort of a rectangle. So come on, you and me, baby.
All right. Okay, great.
Just spread it out.
I did bring a scuffed team today, Jenny,
Did you bring
because
a
I
scuffed
knew we were going to be making this. It's one of those days. You have to come prepared. So what do you then do after you have spread this all over?
I like to poke a couple of holes in the bottom because then it makes it more crispy.
Ah, nice.
So a little tip, and it doesn't have to fit the whole tin. You know what? This is homemade. Now you're going to take. How are you doing, darling? You do good. You keep going there, girl.
See, chef,
yes, base.
Chef, yes, chef.
You better say.
Base in, chef. What else? Chef.
Spread. Thank you, chef.
No, you're the chef. Oh, man. Okay, so this is homemade. You want this to be as rustic as you can get it, I imagine, because, you know...
People won't believe you made it if you try and make it look like it comes from a pizza
Every single time, Shirley, I don't know about you.
Yeah.
When I host, right, in the past, before... Okay, not before I met Jenny Morris, but like last year, I used to always buy like pizza from the shop, eh?
Yes.
In the box, eh? Frozen stuff, eh?
Yes.
Put it in the oven and say to everyone, I made it. But people can tell when you haven't made it. People can tell when it's not fresh, when it's been frozen for a decade and now you're just serving it to them.
Now, we're making a biltong one.
Which you couldn't freeze for 10 days. You couldn't.
Darling, this won't even last for 1 minute in my house with the biltong on it.
This won't last 1 minute in front of me once it's done.
Okay, that's fine. So it's not getting any more.
And Shirley, how's it going there?
Am I able to use my hands or just the spoon?
Absolutely. So now what we do, put some picante pepper.
Yes, chef.
He's going to get such a mommy smack from me. Now, I want you to use that part of your hand. Just bring it
A lot of people do
nicely.
struggle with kneading the dough, actually, and it's good to see this. And Shirley, this is a masterclass. You are never, ever going to get an opportunity to learn from the best in the way that you are doing now, eh?
Everyone can say Jenny Morris.
But this you don't really need to knead. That's the beauty of this dough. You can just rest it nicely. I mean, just give it a good so we know it's all well and cooked. Look at
it
you,
really
Bobby.
is because of that Clover Classics spreadability that allows it to be able to do that. It really does give it that richness, which I love. But listen to this. Here's a competition, okay? Clover Classic is giving you, yes, all of you at home, the chance to win your share of 500,000 Rand. That's R500,000 in prizes. All you have to do to enter is buy any Clover Classic custard, dairy snack, fed spread, or mayonnaise. And then what you do is you take the WhatsApp till slip, okay, to show that you bought it. And then you WhatsApp that to 074 909 0000. If you want the T's and C's, you can find them on clover.co.za. It's all about classic, timeless taste. Now go on to expressoshow.com if you want to get your hands on this delectable recipe, or if you missed any of the steps. Here's a recap while I really quickly make sure that that pizza doesn't last a minute.
Let's go.
Made with love by Clover. Only you can make my day. my feel-good breakfast show.
It is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso, and wow, what a powerful Monday we've had. And our next guest is a hit maker, not just in Mzansi, but he's also making waves abroad. I'm talking about Will Lindley, only 20 years of age, and he is from Cape Town. Now, you might have heard his songs over the radio as he's exploded onto the South African music scene at the end of 2021. Well, Will has gone from a breakthrough TikTok sensation to a full-blown recording artist. And in a matter of a few months, he's evolved from creating content to, from his hometown to hopping on a plane, being on radio stations all across the globe, and also most recently being in LA to shoot a couple of things. Now, he's got a new music out. In fact, it's called I Don't Want to Be Yours. Let's take a look at that.
Blonde hair covering my eyes. All that I remember are the blurry nights. Two people speeding through the suburbs at 95. I'm trying to say I didn't love you, but that's a lie. Yeah, cold there, skinny dipping night. I'm still finding sand inside my shoes sometimes. Oh, show me all your cards and the secrets that you keep inside. It's not enough that we only love the feeling. Oh, 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 oh.
Oh, that song you just saw, the music video, is actually the one for Wrong Time. Will Lindley, he's on your Feel Good Breakfast show, and it's so great to have you here. I mean, I think, listening to your voice, hearing your music on air throughout the day, I forget you're only 20 years old, and this is all so new for you. Have you been able to even wrap your mind around everything you've managed to achieve in these couple of short months?
No. Simple answer is no. I think it's been something that I've always wanted to do as a kid, but never really known how to even go about it. And I think that these last 6 months have really been like a deer in the headlights moment, and just kind of figuring it out as I go along, but really just taking it day by day and enjoying the journey as it happens, yeah.
And you know what? We are enjoying this journey with you as you are going through it day by day. We are loving the music you're producing, but we are seeing the cream of the crop. There was a lot of work involved to get to where you are now. Where did your love for music start? Because you said this is something you've been dreaming about.
I grew up in quite a musical household. In fact, one of my brothers was actually in the Stellenbosch University Choir, and they've been on Expresso as well, which is quite cool. But I just fell in love with music from a young age. And my mum and dad urged us to play instruments. I was playing the violin from the age of 7, 8. And just was always singing. And then I guess songwriting kind of took its own life and journey from the age of like 15. I started writing songs. But then it really just started ramping up and moving at the end of last year.
And that is so amazing because, it's beautiful to hear your music. You are talented in your songwriting. And you've now been able to go do media and travel abroad. You were in Los Angeles. You've been in Europe for media. How does it feel knowing that your songs, the ones you've been working so hard at, is getting airplay not only here, but abroad?
It's so weird. It's so weird. I think, I don't know, initially, when I would put stuff out, I think that my friends and my family were just being nice. They were, well done, like, good for you, But then when it started to just move just amongst people in South Africa and people that I didn't know, that's when it just started becoming this beast, but not in a bad way. Just this thing that I didn't quite know how to grasp. And so it's incredible, and I feel so grateful to be in this position doing what I love.
And you know what? Having platforms like TikTok and social media at your fingertips has also helped getting your name out there even more rapidly than I think most people could dream of. Yeah. How was it having your TikTok for Miss Me, the song you just heard on your screens right now, play, to have that go viral on TikTok, people using it and really getting your name out there?
It was bizarre. I think I remember having a conversation with one of my producers, David Belshaw, and we were having a coffee at this little cafe in Woodstock, which is just down the road from the studio. And I remember him saying to me, he said, "Listen, Brew, you've got to get TikTok. It's the one app that I think could actually change things for you and really just give your music to people from around the world." And I committed to doing a month of it and doing 2 videos a day. And I was cursing him, and I was like, "No, David, I can't do this. Please, please, please don't make me do this." But from committing just to a month, and just going, let's see what happens, it started picking up and moving. And suddenly, when people started loving Miss Me, it was this realization that, okay, maybe we've got a song here that we could work. And it took us about a year to eventually get the song out, but
It's there, and we are loving it, and we are not about to miss you because you're going to be on our Feel Good Breakfast show. You're also dropping an EP a little bit later this year, which we are super excited about. Will Lindley is on your Feel Good Breakfast show. He's not going anywhere. We're going to get to know him a little bit more as he also performs, so stay tuned.
I cannot wait for that performance. It's going to be magic. And speaking of magic, would you like to go to the island of magic? Yes, we're talking about Tropica Island of Treasure Season 10. It's back with an all-star season, and it is your time to audition Mzansi. Before we get into it, though, as you know, and if you were watching last week, this past weekend, we hosted live auditions at Mr. Price Home in Canal Walk, and I'm standing by with one of our all-stars right now. It's Roxy Lowe in the building to tell us all about the incredible event. So, Roxy, how's the weekend?
Yeah, it was amazing. The energy there. How was there so much energy?
It was so cool because I remember Friday morning, obviously, we got to open up the store and open up the auditions. And the store wasn't even open yet, but I could feel the vibe. It was absolutely electric. The way they reinvented that entire store for that audition booth.
Absolutely.
Phenomenal
Felt
stuff,
like we were on an island in that little box, right?
It definitely did. But I mean, you got a chance to obviously spend most of the weekend. I saw Maurice was also there chatting to some of the contestants. What did you think about it, just in general?
Wow, I was, like I said to you earlier off camera, it's amazing the talent that's came through. Yeah. Such awesome people, some really out-of-the-box people, which is awesome. And definitely a few contestants that could potentially be partnered with me.
Okay, I'll chat to you in just a bit about that. And maybe you can actually tell me, because I know you were saying there were strong contestants. When I looked at the booth as well, there were so many elements that you could use in the audition, kind of just to bring out your personality. Did you see anyone that you definitely think, this is someone that could roll with me in this comp? I think we could take this that cool prize of 1 million together.
Yeah, there was a guy, but his eyes weren't set on me.
Okay.
And I was like, why? We're in Cape Town, represent. We're the Western Cape here.
Oh, I love it, man. I absolutely love it. Look, it's not only that, though, but it's also the fact that a lot of people are also unaware of how to maybe get involved in the audition. Do you have any tips for them, maybe, in terms of getting themselves out there, maybe getting rid of some of the nerves and getting that chance at that cool 1 million in prizes on the Tropica Island of Treasure?
Yeah, well, it's reality TV, so you've got to be yourself. So the most important thing is to be super authentic and to make yourself vulnerable. Put yourself out there. Show off your talents. We had a hula hooper. She was amazing.
Oh, nice.
Showing off her talent because we're going to have fun and we're just going to be ourselves, right?
Be yourselves and obviously tackle and take on some crazy obstacles.
Yes.
You don't know what to expect, but you know it can come in many varieties. So maybe a hula hooper might be the perfect opportunity. Mzansi, this is your chance, however, to get involved in this epic competition. And we are hosting live auditions right now at the following Mr. Price Home stores so that you can get involved and have your chance to get online. Now, the Pavilion in Durban from Friday the 27th to Sunday the 29th of May is where your auditions will take place, and then as well as Sandton City in Johannesburg. And that's taking place from Friday the 3rd to Sunday the 5th of June. So please make your way over to those stores and audition, because you might get to meet some of these all-stars too and maybe be paired up with them. So you can tell Tropica why you should be chosen to compete with one of our all-star celebs and stand a chance to win your share of that smooth 1 million rand. And don't forget, the auditions close on Sunday the 5th of June. So you still have some time, so don't worry, but you've got to get there soon. And if you stay in Durban, don't forget to come to the auditions this coming weekend. Yes, it's your opportunity to audition and showcase yourself to the world, and you can meet some of those all-star celebrities and have your opportunity to impress in the audition booths. Now, make sure you come by and audition, because you can be on the island, and the closing date for those auditions, let me repeat it again, it's the 5th of June. You definitely never want to be anything other than smoother than this.
We are back with the best of the best in the All-Star Season 10 of Tropica Island of Treasure. And we're going big!
Just tell us why you should be chosen to compete with one of these all-star celebs and stand a chance to win a smooth 1 million rand. WhatsApp your audition video or upload it on our socials at MyTropica for your chance to get a spot on the island.
So buy a Tropica today, and this could be you. See pack for details.
Tropica, nothing smoother.
welcome back to it. Yes, it is your feel-good breakfast show. It's Expresso. We're live on a Monday morning. Thank you very much for starting this brand new week on the right side of Feel Good. Now, we're back in studio with 20-year-old, okay? 20-year-old musician Will Linley. But don't forget, he's 20, but his youth will not detract you from his skill. And here he is to perform for us, our very first performance. But first, maybe let's chat about this. Mental health, a big focus for us. And I think your industry, I mean, a lot of people we've had a conversation with have had to open up so much about their experience with mental health. How have you coped during this time?
Yeah, I think I struggled in lockdown, and I think lockdown was a time for me where I dove a lot into music, and music was a lockdown baby of mine. You know, that's where this all kind of came from. Yeah. But I'm really blessed to have parents that are supporting me in this, and brothers that have got my back. And so I think I just found a lot of solace in confiding in them and just leaning on them when times are really, really getting difficult.
And it sounds like music was your outlet. So whenever things were just going wild on the outside, you were able to sort of hone into your craft and your skill and find inspiration and feel good in that. Well, you know what? We're going to be hearing it now. And this song is an absolute hit. Here he is. It's Will with Miss Me. And I'm backing dancing at the back.
Yeah, do you want to stand just here?
Stand there. Bye.
I don't want to think about on my mind is slowly losing track all the time, and I start to trip on the chemicals. Up another cigarette in the night, and I start to float and romanticize all the things we do. When I met you in the summer, we were falling in love. Thought it was a fling, but that wasn't enough. Caught up in our feelings at the very first touch, and all I want to say is when I found you, I found me. Always going through life in the backseat. If you walk out, I'll crash down. Cause I've been thinking about it for too long. Lately I've been thinking about it all wrong. All I'm gonna do is miss me when you're gone. Oh, miss me when you're... I don't know how to say it, but when I think about us, it tears my heart up to think about you walking away. I guess that all things come to an end. Whoa, but it's been a couple of weeks, and that's enough to believe that you were gonna stick around instead of walking out on me. And now I'm lying here thinking about how when I met you in the summer we were falling in love. Thought it was a flame, but that wasn't enough. Caught up in our feelings at the very first touch, and all I wanted to say is when I found you, I found me. Always going through life in the backseat. If you walk out, I'll crash now. Cause I've been thinking about it for too long. Lately I've been thinking about it all wrong. All I'm gonna do is miss me when you're gone. Oh, I'll miss me when you're gone. When I found you, I found me. Always going through life in the backseat. If you walk out, I'll crash now. When I found you, I found me. Always going through life in the backseat. If you walk out, I'll crash now. Yeah. When I found you, I found me. Always going through life in the backseat. If you walk out, I'll crash now. I've been thinking about it for too long. Lately I've been thinking about it all wrong. All I'm gonna do is miss me when you're gone. Oh, yeah. Oh, miss me when you're gone.
Miss me when I'm gone, yeah. Oh man, put it all the way here. It's Will Linley here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Miss Me, what a song. And the love is flowing in on social media. Get your comment and use that hashtag Expresso Show. More with this young man a bit later on. Here is Zoe Brown on standby with the news. Oh man, I found you.
Thank you, Uncle Tubbsy. Well, it's a few minutes away from 8 o'clock. Let's look at those national headlines. President Cyril Ramaphosa has described the late former Johannesburg Mayor Mpho Moerane as a model of a servant leader who worked selflessly to ensure that citizens receive adequate services from government. Ramaphosa delivered the eulogy at the funeral services of Moerane held in Alexandra, north of Johannesburg. Ramaphosa said the city had indeed lost a visionary leader who had what it takes to change and improve Johannesburg for the better. Moerane died aged 52 of injuries sustained in a car accident. And staying with local news, all emergency response systems in KwaZulu-Natal have been activated following the heavy rains this weekend, which resulted in flooding in several areas. On Saturday, the SA Weather Services issued a level 10 red warning for torrential rain and strong winds, which later battered the coastline. This is the second time the province has been hit by severe flooding in just over a month. Areas most affected by the heavy downpours are Mlazi, south of Durban, Untongati, Westbrook, and Umhloti, north of Durban. More news on this in our weather report. Moving to news abroad, the International Monetary Fund has agreed to continue funding a $400 million aid package to Somalia, vital for the government to pay the salaries of civil servants and the military. The announcement follows last week's much-delayed presidential election. For many months, the country's leading politicians were involved in a bitter dispute, which led to election delays and potentially dire consequences if the IMF funding had been switched off. But with new President Hassan Sadiq Mohammed now in office, the IMF has agreed to keep making the payments. And Australia's new leader has vowed to take the country in a new direction with a big shift in climate policy. Anthony Albanese, who won Saturday's election with the opposition centre-left Labour Party, said Australia could become a renewable energy superpower. He is to be sworn in as PM today, but it's not clear whether his party will have a majority in Parliament, as 3 million postal votes still have to be counted. Climate change was a key concern for voters after 3 years of record-breaking bushfire and flood events. And bringing it closer to home, Zora Bibi Suleiman, the woman behind the internationally known founder and director of Gift of the Givers Foundation, Dr. Imtiaz Suleiman, has bagged a master's degree in counseling psychology from the University of KwaZulu-Natal. For her thesis, she examined the lived experiences of Muslim women in a polygamy marriage in Durban and surrounding areas. Throughout her life, she had advocated for women's empowerment, independence, and education. She heads a counseling service, Caroline, for women in polygamous marriages who are distraught and broken by the actions of their husbands. Caroline has grown immensely and now extends to the public free of charge through telephone and face-to-face counseling. Moreover, she's co-founder of Gift of the Givers Foundation. She raised her 4 daughters and 1 son while her husband flew off to war zones, delivering aid to those who needed it the most. She remains the anchor of the family and is still active in the foundation, said Dr. Suleiman, and I'm going to quote, saying, "I'm extremely proud of her achievements, and all of us are certainly too. What an incredible inspiration." Well, that's where I leave your morning headlines. Here's a final look at your weather.
Thank you so much. So now for our final look at the weather and reporting on the heavy rains which have lashed KwaZulu-Natal this weekend, forcing some 500 people to flee their homes in the East Coast area. Now, this only a month after the worst floods in living memory claimed the lives of more than 448. Now, 82 reception centers were opened while police, firefighters and rescue workers responded rapidly to emergencies. Now, elderly people in several villages were also evacuated, and the M4 at La Mercy, north of Durban, collapsed overnight after heavy rain. Now, the heavy rains also led to mudslides and floods in areas north of the city. Now, water and power supply to these areas was also interrupted, and KZN Premier Sihle Zikalala said they were yet to receive a full comprehensive report on the impact of the latest heavy rains. But as reports came in, a worrying picture was emerging. Some areas are completely unreachable, and disaster management teams and emergency services officials are still on high alert. Now, the Weather Service yesterday said conditions were expected to improve from today. Now, our thoughts and prayers definitely go out to everybody affected by the KZN floods, and please help out in any way that you can. Mzansi, our people need us. Well, we love starting our day with those sunrise views captured by you, Mzansi, and we're going to continue with that trend right now. Stallone Pillay from Umkomaz kicked our week off with this absolutely stunning shot of the sun rising in the distance while he overlooked the ocean. And what a majestic shot indeed. And then next up on the list, regular photographer Brian Super, all the way from Table View, sharing this absolutely beautiful shot of the sky displaying a majestic array of hues ranging from pinks, yellows and reds, you name it, it's all out there for us to be inspired. And then JP Malhaba from Robertson capturing a beautiful clear blue sky with the sun slowly rising from behind the trees and giving you that inspiration that we all want to start our day. And last but not least, we had Nigel Riley from Cork Bay sharing a stunning shot overlooking the area, showing the mountain and the harbour, capturing this all from the top of Boys Drive. Well, Mzansi, you've definitely stepped it up when it comes to your sunrise pictures. Thank you so much for sharing it, for putting a smile on our face and for getting us that little extra bit of inspiration that we all so welcome from you. Now, for our last look at the temperatures this morning, let's take a look at the across the country, and starting off in Polokwane, where the day starts at 8, moving up to a high of 18. Mbombela sees the day starting at 12, up to 20 being your high. Pretoria sees a low of 8, moving up to 20 degrees. And Johannesburg, rain coming through with a low of 7, moving all the way up to 17 degrees Celsius. Over in Mahikeng now, where the day starts at a low of 5, moving up to 20. Klerksdorp, much the same, a chillier start of 5 degrees, moving up to only 19. And Kimberley, much the same, 5 is your low, moving up all the way to 19 degrees. And Bloemfontein finishing it off on a chilly 2 degrees to start with a high of 20 degrees Celsius. Moving over to Richards Bay now, where the rain seems to be continuing on your side of the world. 13 is your low, moving up to 19 degrees. Pietermaritzburg sees the day starting at 9, up to 20 degrees. Durban sees the day starting at 14, up to only 22 degrees high. And Mthatha, a chillier start of 9, but moving up to 22 degrees for the day. Moving around the coast once more, we'll head over to East London right now. Your day starting at 13, up to 23 degrees. Cradock sees a chilly start of 5, up to 20. Gqeberha, a warmer start to the day. 12 is your low, moving up to a high of 21. And George sees much the same temperatures of 11, all the way up to a moderate 20 degrees Celsius. Over in the mother city now and down to the rest of the coastline, 14 being your low, moving up to a high of 20 degrees. Worcester, a chilly start of 10, moving up to a nice warm 25 degrees. Sutherland, a chilly start of 6 degrees, moving up to only 19. And Uppington, much the same, 8 is your low, moving up to 23 degrees Celsius. Mzansi, thank you. Those credible pictures of yours have put a smile on everybody's face out here in the studio, and I can't thank you enough for sending it through, and keep bringing it on for the rest of the week. And of course, it's time for us to catch up with the rest of the team and see what else is happening on the show.
Yeah, it's competition time. And this next competition is going to add sunshine to one lucky viewer's day. Yep.
Gynagard, feminine hygiene mastered.
Now, while your daughters might not live in your house anymore, but they will always live in your heart. Gynagard is giving you the chance to win 2,500 Rand every day by telling us about your phenomenal daughter in reply to the Expresso Facebook or Twitter pages. Now, we are so excited to announce our next winner.
Yeah.
And can we get a drum roll, please? Congratulations, Palesa Modisane.
Oh, love it. Palesa Modisane entered by entering, putting in her entry and commenting, I nominate my sister for being such a beautiful being inside and out. She is a phenomenal woman, always doing things willingly and going the extra mile for her siblings. We're truly blessed to have her in our lives. Hashtag feminine wellness, hashtag Gynagard, hashtag Expresso Show. Palesa, good morning.
Good morning, you guys.
Bali. Congratulations. How does it feel to be a winner?
Hello.
How does it feel to be a winner, my love?
I feel amazing. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Well, winning is exciting. 2,500 Rand is yours, and you nominated your sister, who is a phenomenal daughter to your parents.
Yes.
What is your favorite memory of yourself and your sis?
Sorry?
Your favorite memory between you and your sister?
It's us always cooking in the kitchen, you know. So making food, that's the best.
Ooh.
Some of the best memories, certainly without a doubt, are made in the kitchen. So, Palesa, what are you going to do with the money?
I'm going to spend it on my sister, obviously. She deserves it, so yeah, I'm going to spend it definitely on my sister.
I love that. I love that.
There is always a
Yay.
special bond between sisters. Palesa, you're so lucky and congratulations.
Thank you so much, Zoe.
Oh, man. Palesa, well, that's really fantastic for you. Please go and spoil your sister and enjoy the prize. Now, the excitement isn't over just yet. Oh, no, there is more. You still have the opportunity to enter the Gynagard Celebrating Daughters competition, and you stand the chance to win yourself 2,500 Rand cash. Here's how.
We are switching the celebrations from mothers to daughters for the rest of the month with Gynagard, as Gynagard launches their new teen range. Join Expresso weekdays to stand a chance of winning 2,500 Rand per day. Nominate a divine daughter by replying to the competition post on Expresso's Facebook or Twitter pages and tell us why they are a deserving daughter. Remember to tag the person you are nominating and use hashtag feminine wellness and hashtag Gynagard. Competition closes Tuesday, 24 May at 8 a.m. T's and C's on expressoshow.com.
1 in 2 healthy South African women suffer from iron deficiency. Speak to your healthcare professional about getting tested and treated for iron deficiency. Brought to you by FerryMed. Join Expresso this autumn for a chance to win one of 6 Plascon vouchers, each to the value of 5,000 Rand. With nature's own forests, fields and beaches inspiring Plascon's new color combinations, tell us how you would color your life. Answer our weekly social media question and find the terms and conditions on expressoshow.com. So, color your life with 5,000 Rand Plascon paint vouchers to be won this autumn on Expresso.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
You are definitely still at the right place with your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso. We're here on S3, opening up to some inspiring content when it comes to working in teams and warming and heating up that environment. Because connecting with your team in a hybrid working arrangement has its challenges, a whole range and set of challenges. And this morning we chat to Nikki Bush, human potential expert, speaker and author, about the morning huddle, the team cuddle, and fixing the model. I love it all. I really do, because there's something about that creates some sort of culture and connection and bond with teams, right?
Absolutely, to be so. And I think it's that bonding, that connection that has had to become more intentional than it used to be. When you had that walk-around management, when the manager, the leader could walk around and see, touch and feel, you know, tap you on the shoulder, how you doing, water cooler conversations, those sorts of things. Open door in the morning, you know, I'm in the office from, 7:30 till 8 before I start work. Once I've done my drop-off for my child, and anybody can just drop into my office and come and have a casual chat.
Yes.
Those sort of things disappeared during the pandemic. Now we're in a hybrid situation. What are you going to do?
That's exactly it. What are you going to do? What do we have to do? Because certain things are better done in the office than virtually, or not.
Well, there are certain things that leaders and managers find easier in the office. Things like brainstorming. Innovative think tanks. Those sorts of things are generally easier when it's face-to-face. Unless you have some of the there's some really good online apps and tools that you can use, but generally large organizations have firewalls that stop you from using some of these tools. So leaders find it much easier to get their people into a room for that sort of thing. But there's got to be a reason to get people to drive to the office today because of the cost of petrol. And people have got used to being at home, being able to fetch and carry their children to and from school, not to have to ask permission. So now you better have a really good reason to get me into the office.
Thank you very much. And that's my next question, honestly, is, and I have a lot of friends, in fact, all of my friends work in corporate, and the number of times I'm hearing them complain at the end of the day, I don't know why I had to be dragged into that meeting. They could have just sent a WhatsApp voice note for that meeting. Nobody needed to sit together for that. It's a waste of everybody's time. Why, Nikki, are people being called here, there, everywhere, into meetings?
Firstly, presenteeism.
Okay.
If I see you here, I know you're here. You're on the job. Okay.
But I'm online on the virtual thing. You can see the green circle. I'm live. I'm there.
Yep. So presenteeism is the one thing. And the other thing is micromanagement and over-control. If I can make you come into the office, I'm in control as the team leader. And so there is that sense of, if I say be here and you arrive, I've done my job. But you actually haven't, because then you're just using positional power. You're not using influence and leadership.
It almost sounds as if there was a sound effect and a theatrical expression of that, it would be... Everybody.
I love it.
Right?
I love it.
So there is something good about still being able to, I suppose, reminisce or connect in the way that we traditionally used to pre-COVID and pre this entire virtual experience that we're all going through now. I'm sure that leaders and organizations have an opportunity to really find the ability to create inspiring moments through those meetings when they do have them, right? Leave people charged up.
Of course, absolutely. So if you're going to call a meeting, make sure it's for good reason. The first one is that morning huddle. And the morning huddle is that open door.
Okay.
And you need to be able to do that whether you're in the office or not, whether your team is in the office or not. So my door, whether I am sitting in the office or whether I am at home, is open for half an hour from 7:30 to 8. Please drop in either virtually or if I'm in my office or, you know, at my hot desk.
Yes.
Come and sit and let's huddle.
Yeah.
And that's an opportunity to shoot the breeze. That doesn't have an agenda.
It's just that.
And you know, Tabiso, there is room for moments with no agenda. Now, I know if you want to run an effective meeting, you need an agenda. I use agendas for my meeting.
List queen.
The list queen, absolutely.
Yeah.
But then if you can have a moment, and the morning huddle is, for me, that moment where we can shoot the breeze about the weather, the political situation. Oh, you know what? I was talking to XYZ in that department, that division of the company. Do you know what I heard? Because we've learned to live and work in silos during the pandemic. And we need to start cross-pollinating what we know, what we hear, to feed that back into our department or division. Because this is intel.
Oh.
It's important stuff. We've got to know what's going on out there.
I love that. Yes, that you get intel, but it's connecting as well. I find that people do miss out on the opportunity to connect in that way. Well, listen, Nikki, this is really fantastic, and I always love connecting with you on this. In fact, you must weigh in. Please let us know what your thoughts and your experiences are that you've found on our social media. It's Expresso Morning Show, SABC3 at Expresso Show on Instagram and on Twitter. In fact, we're going to be chatting some more with Nikki about this, so please do make sure that you stick around. We'll see you in a bit.
Beautiful conversation indeed, and that will be carrying on right now, though. We are heading to the kitchen to do something a little bit different. And what's that saying? When life gives you lemons, what do you do with it? You transform it into a classic treat, like the self-sourcing lemon custard pudding. Yeah, the sound of it just sounds so delicious, and it's absolutely something that's going to brighten up your Blue Monday. And Jenny Monis is here to show us how it's done alongside the delectable and the exciting, the entertaining, the yogi type, the fitness. I'm going to go on the list. The list continues. But it's, of course, Roxy Lowe in the studio once again, joining us and having such a good day this morning.
How are you so many adjectives for her? What about me?
I run out of words when I'm with you, Jenny. I have this effect on me that I'm just like starstruck whenever I'm around you.
I love you. I'm forgiving him. I don't believe a word he's saying though. So what Roxy's going to do, you have some beautiful melted butter, some sugar, a lovely egg yolk. This is an easy put.
Nice.
Some lemon juice to give some acidity, and of course for flavour, some beautiful lemon zest.
Yum.
And this is, you know, mixing like this is, it's so good for your mental health because it's relaxing.
I like that.
It's
meditation, right?
Yes.
I mean, I can see the practice, especially in the kitchen. Some people can find their flow state in many areas. Is it something that you do in the kitchen? Is this like your safe space, your church, your sanctuary?
It's my sanctuary, it's my haven, and it's my church, synagogue, and mosque. It's all of those things for me. I promise you, I go into the kitchen when I'm stressed.
Okay.
And I cook too much food. I don't eat it, but I'll make everyone around me nice and fat.
Roxy, you've got a different kind of office though, right? And obviously we all deal with stress. Jenny has a luxury of coming to the kitchen and just finding a space of love. What is that for you exactly? I mean, I know you play in a lot of spaces, you're in the outdoor world, you're in the front of the screen. When you're dealing with the stress and the pressure, how do you deal with that? How do you take that on and how do you calibrate?
Yeah, well, I'm lucky that I've got music as well. I DJ. So music for me is my absolute meditation. I can spend hours just mixing music, sourcing music, and even during lockdown, playing on the controller, and that to me was my escape.
Hang on, we need to get you out here for a Young Friday.
Absolutely.
I didn't know you were a DJ as well.
Yes,
I told you, this list does not stop.
You're a sous chef. I'm waiting for my sauce, boy.
You put two beautiful women in the kitchen. I'm going to get distracted, Jenny. Okay, what have we got here?
How good? Okay, I've got Clover Classic. I'm going to snack while you two chat.
Do I need to keep mixing?
I've got some baking. Is this baking powder soft?
No, that is corn flour, some lemon juice, and some water.
All right, so let's put that in there.
And we're going to self-sauce it. This is what keeps me tranquil.
Of course. The proof is in the pudding. And when you get such good food...
Take your own spoon.
Can you not feel that good? Can I steal one of these spoons just to mix up my dish over here?
Doesn't that make you feel all calm and fabulous?
Reminds me of winter. It's perfect.
You too, just loving life in the kitchen here.
You can have my Clover Classic. I'll lick my finger. I've got the whole one. Now, Raoul, pass me that, my love.
Coming right up. Let me just pop my hot water into this mixture.
And some sugar.
And I've got some sugar for you. There you go.
Just pop some of that also. Oh, mind you, I'll just put this over the top as a nice crust. Do you see how easy that was?
And it's smooth.
Smooth and relaxing to make.
Ooh.
So we do that, Rox.
Roxy, I've seen you actually running around the studio with all these temptations when it comes to the food. How's that been, by the way? It's quite tough to
It
say
has
no
been
to.
horrible. I have dived into pizza at I'm not sure what time already. I haven't even gone to the gym.
Does your stomach tell you what the time is? What time
The
should I
time now
eat?
is happiness. That's all that
But
matters
it makes
right now.
me so happy.
Jenny, do you know that you have that effect on people in the kitchen? I don't know if you often notice it, but every guest that comes in here, after you make the food in the kitchen, they can't resist. They sneak into it. Every meal you make is just up there with the best, and this is something that I think is going to be amongst
It's divine.
some of the top stuff.
You eat 1,000 meals a year. 10 bad ones ain't going to kill you.
That is very true. I'm all for balance. I agree with you.
Thank you very much. And I can't balance on one leg, but I see you do. Would you like to just take your place over there in a moment, and you can just have a spoonful. I really, really want you to try it. It is absolutely delicious. This is going to go into the oven at 180, and it's going to suck up that sauce, and it's going to be divine.
All right, Roxy, you want to put the proof in the pudding? It's just
Do we have custard for that?
Okay, I can.
Of course we
I can do this.
Our
I
hero
can do
ingredient,
this.
the
Not
Clover
just
Classic
any
custard.
custard, darlings.
And
the
while you
Clover
guys are
Classic.
tucking into that, let me talk to you about our hero ingredient while it's dipping into the bowl. It's a classic custard. It's versatile to use with dessert, and it's delicious on its own. Now, the creamy, smooth, and delicious flavor of Clover Classic custard complements the citrus flavors of this pudding, and it's something you definitely want to make, because with Clover Classic, you also stand the chance to win your share of 500,000 Rand in prizes. Now, it's so simple. All you've got to do to enter is buy any Clover Classic custard, dairy snack, fat spread, or mayonnaise, and WhatsApp the till slip of your purchase to the number 074 909 000. That's 074 909 quadruple zero. So I'm going to say that one more time, because I want you to get a piece of this. It's 074 909 0000. Your T's and C's can be found at clover.co.za, and I'm getting distracted here because all the ladies are tucking into this goodness. As you can see, smiles on their faces. And of course, if you need to, then you can get your hands on this delectable recipe by visiting expressoshow.com. Roxy, what's the thoughts over there?
She wants more custard.
We want more. We want more.
Get on over here before I finish it all.
All right, well, there you have it. Roxy's definitely giving this one a tick, and I'm sure you will too. Head over to expressoshow.com. Get entering into that competition as well. That's clover.co.za. And what's not else there to do but enjoy. Enjoy.
So, we've had classic fashion from Timby, classic cars, thanks Chad, and we've seen classic hairstyles. And you, Michael? Classic.
A classic range from Clover. Timeless taste.
Made with love by Clover.
We're continuing our conversation with human potential expert and author Nikki Bush about the challenges of the hybrid work setup and what things work best in the office, because certain things do and certain things do need for us to connect in some way. How can team leaders add some creative flair to meetings is maybe one of the things to start talking about. Nikki, thank you so much for hanging out with us still. How can that happen? How can team leaders make sure that they really inspire and charge us up in that way?
To be so, the operative word is connection. Human connection. People want to connect. They want to be part of a team.
Yeah.
But how do we facilitate that as a leader? So before the break, we talked about the morning huddle. So having the open door so people can come in over that half hour and just shoot the breeze with no particular agenda. Then when it comes to team meetings, what I find is that if we try and do too much in a team meeting, especially when you don't necessarily have everybody in the office, you might have some people virtual, some people in the office. You know, if you try and do the business end and the social piece in one meeting, I find that if you've got, say, 8 or 10 people in the group, and in order to warm everyone up, you do the personal thing, well, that's half an hour gone before we even get to the business end. So I tend to say split the two. And why don't we have a team cuddle, which is the social end of the meeting, separately once a week, or maybe it's even once a month, depending on the kind of team and the size of team that you have.
All right.
And it's quite nice to do this, like instead of Friday drinks, which you might have had in the office.
Yes.
Now you can't necessarily all be there, but we're learning more about each other. Who's in my team? How many children do you have to be so? Are you married? I mean, I've just discovered somebody in my team has grandchildren, you know, for example.
It's those interesting things like that.
Gives people dimensions, you know, layers and levels. And maybe it's things like, where were you born? I mean, people have interesting stories.
Yes.
So, you know, let's make sure we discover those stories. Pet peeves. Biggest fears. That gives you some insight into people. How's this one? What was the most fun thing you did this weekend? And everybody does weekends differently.
And people also do like to talk. People do like to share interesting things that they've got up to. If they spent time with their children and had a party, had a jumping castle, they want to go on about that.
Completely.
And when it comes to cameras, I find, you know, working hybrid can be quite interesting. When should cameras be on?
Good question. Very good question. And you know, different people, different organizations have a different approach. My feeling is if it's a process meeting, it's about the doing stuff. You can switch your cameras off. You know, unlike you and me who sit in front of cameras for a living, most people don't like to be in front of a camera. But if we were having that team cuddle where we're sharing about personal stuff, if we have a new person who's joined our team, for goodness sake, please, cameras on, everybody. Cameras on. You know, those people who have joined during the pandemic who've never met people, do you know how isolated they feel? I've even seen people cry when I run team connection sessions because they finally meet the CEO or the chief financial officer who they thought was scary, and they've realized they're just human.
How do we make sure we get buy-in from everyone on these, you know, new and interesting ways of operating? Because, you know, some people just go, oh, yes, I don't have to see anyone ever again. I'm happy with that. And some people just go, I miss seeing people. I would like to hear what Nikki got up to this past weekend. Is it a collaborative effort? And do you do trial and error and see how it goes? And your experience in the chats that you've had with the many leaders and organizations?
You know, sometimes we have to do something that creates a sense of community and connection and commonality. And it could be as intentional as saying, wherever you are, whether you're in the office or at home, this Friday, wear red.
Okay.
I've been in meetings where we've been asked to wear a hat. And everybody has to explain why they chose that hat. So there's a story behind everything. I'll tell you a funny story about that one. The day we had to wear a hat, my son happened to open the parrot cage, and the parrot flew and landed on my head in the middle of the meeting. So not only did I have a hat on my head, but I had a parrot on my head as well.
But that added character to your hat. And what a story to be able to tell for everyone that was on that phone call. Come on.
Of course, I screeched.
Which
I was on
you
Zoom.
would have to have done.
And everybody just canned themselves. And nobody has ever forgotten that meeting. And they say, Nikki, don't forget to bring the parrot. Okay. But isn't that great? You know, we've created a memory that we can revisit often. And that's what we want to do with our colleagues.
Create that.
Memories and a sense of togetherness and belonging. You know, that's important stuff.
I love that. That's culture. And because we're not just machines. Thank you so, so much, Nikki. We are not just machines. We are meant to connect. We love to work with organizations that we work for, not because they pay us money, but because we get to learn and grow in that process and become better people, hopefully.
And part of a team. Let's not forget that people actually love being part of a team. They want to be contributing to something bigger than themselves.
I love that. And that's the perfect place to leave it. That was Nikki Bush, the human potential expert and parenting expert too. Nikki Bush sharing some tips on how to get that work-life dynamic in balance. Check it out. Of course, her resources are available on nikkibush.com. And as always, it's all about just moving forward as a society and just doing better and reaching for our full potential. Thanks, Nikki.
Oh, thank you, Uncle Tubbsy. Well, we've had one performance from him, and he is back with another one. Will Lindley, he's on your Feel Good Breakfast show, and it's a name you're going to hear more of in years to come. Now, you can catch him at Beats in the Bush in KZN this weekend, but before then, he's here with his brand new single that dropped just last week. This one is I Don't Wanna Be Yours. Take it away.
Thank you.
Oh, hey. We've been driving around, but now I think it's getting pretty late. Let's cut this off, I don't wanna meet your friends. If I do, I'll be cold, but I'm still gonna let you down. So we should call it now. Oh, hey. You've been singing your favorite songs, hoping we won't end. And I can tell by the look in your eyes, you're overthinking again. You'd like to spend the night with the top off of my car, trying to find us in the stars, but I don't wanna get too close and break your heart tonight. I don't wanna find us even 2 years' time, oh, stuck in the 9 to 5, oh, long days and lonely nights, oh, smiling when we're crying cause we're not alright, oh, I don't wanna be yours, oh, oh, I don't wanna be yours, oh, oh, I don't wanna be, oh, oh, I don't wanna be yours, so let's leave it. I think you better find somebody who'll stick around for morning coffee, smiling but I'm trying not to waste your time, oh, I don't wanna be yours, hey, it's been a week and I wanna believe that you're doing okay. I saw you dyed your hair then blocked me the very next day. I wasn't trying to be the bad guy, but I had to rip the Band-Aid off. I had to cut this short. Oh, I don't wanna get too close and break your heart tonight. I don't wanna find us even 2 years' time, oh, stuck in the 9 to 5, oh, long days and lonely nights, oh, smiling when we're crying cause we're not alright, oh, I don't wanna be yours, oh, oh, I don't wanna be yours, oh, oh, I don't wanna be, oh, oh, I don't wanna be yours, so let's leave it. I think you better find somebody who'll stick around for morning coffee, smiling but I'm trying not to waste your time, oh, I don't wanna be yours, oh, smiling when we're crying cause we're not alright, oh, I don't wanna be yours, oh, smiling when we're crying cause we're not alright, oh, I don't wanna be yours, oh, oh, I don't wanna be yours, oh, oh, I don't wanna be, oh, oh, I don't wanna be yours, so let's leave it. I think you better find somebody who'll stick around for morning coffee, smiling but I'm trying not to waste your time, oh, I don't wanna be yours.
Will Lindley on your Feel Good Breakfast show. He's going to be at Beats in the Bush in KZN, so make sure you get your tickets. Go and support this talented young man. But he's not going anywhere. We've got one more performance coming your way.
We are back with the best of the best in the All-Star Season 10 of Tropica Island of Treasure. And we're going big!
Buy a Tropica, find your code under the cap, and stand a chance to win loads of instant prizes. Plus, if you find the treasure under the cap, you will win one of 10 big prizes. See pack for details. Tropica, nothing smooth.
Join Expresso this autumn for a chance to win one of 6 Plascon vouchers, each to the value of 5,000 Rand. With nature's own forests, fields and beaches inspiring Plascon's new color combinations, tell us how you would color your life. Answer our weekly social media question and find the terms and conditions on expressoshow.com. So, color your life with 5,000 Rand Plascon paint vouchers to be won this autumn on Expresso.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Oh, listen, it's your Feel Good Breakfast show. Yes. We have some exciting things to tell you. You could be loading things into your trolley without worrying about the bill on your next shopping trip. How
that sounds amazing. Tell me more, because listen to this, Mzansi. Game is giving you the chance to win a 2,000 Rand shopping voucher in celebration of their 52nd birthday, and that's because everything's birthday better.
There we go. And to enter, simply tell us how you would use a 2,000 Rand game shopping voucher to make yours yours or someone else's birthday celebration even better. Remember to include that hashtag #GotGame with your entry, and there are some T's and C's that can be found on our website. That's expressoshow.com, and the competition will run until Tuesday, the 31st of May. That's next week, Tuesday. You have until midnight to get those entries in.
Now already, we've got a lot of you entering, and it's time to see what everybody is actually saying online when it comes to this competition. And do we have some comments for you?
We do.
Aaliyah Abrams-Pierce coming through saying, my mom's birthday is coming up. She had 2 strokes. I would definitely buy her an air fryer because she's all about healthy eating. Hashtag #GotGame, hashtag Expresso Show. Great idea.
Great
Love
idea.
that one.
I'm yet to figure out healthy recipes for the air fryer, though.
What? Are you for sure?
I only know all the unhealthy things. Mini pizzas, pies, chips.
All the good stuff.
All the good stuff.
All the good stuff.
Okay, we have Frederica saying, my father's birthday is coming up. Knowing him, he loves all the DIY tools. I'd buy him the Ryobi tools and also get him a wall hair machine. My dad loves fixing things all by himself, and getting him gifts like those will definitely make his year. Oh, that's quite cool.
Just imagine dad just popping in a new young fade, fixing up the house. I like this. We're going places. Mzansi, I'm loving these comments. Absolutely great stuff. And of course, with so many more coming through, we could not obviously not include Leandra Matthews in this one. And she says, being unemployed with 4 kids is not easy. My daughter's birthday is next week, and she so badly wants a little party. So if I'd be so blessed to win this, I'd get everything to make a little princess's birthday special and using the hashtag #GotGame. I love that.
And that's cool, because Game's got everything you need, so you'll definitely find the perfect things. Rukeya says, well, I wouldn't spend it on one person. I would divide it between 4 people.
Nice.
It was my daughter's birthday on the 4th of May, my sister's on the 21st of May, and my husband and other daughter in July. I would buy each one something they really desire to make their birthdays extra special. And with 2,000 Rand, you really can buy decent gifts for 4 people.
Especially when you got a game, because as Zoe said, they've got everything you need, whether it's organizing a birthday party, doing some home DIY, it doesn't matter. And of course, in true celebration, you can also compare prices in Game's birthday month. And that's what their Price Beat promise, which offers a 10% refund on the difference in price on any item that you've purchased. And if you find it cheap at a competitor within 21 days of your purchase, you are guaranteed a price beat on that item. Simple as that.
Amazing. And remember, with store opening hours, they are Monday to Friday from 9 to 6, Saturdays from 9 to 5, and on Sundays and public holidays from 9 to 4. Happy shopping.
It is time to go on a coffee journey with Woolworths. Ooh, let's make some bread. Why not? Turn your next coffee break into an experience with this easy and delicious coffee loaf cake. You're going to love it. Did we mention that the crushed chuckles frosting in the mix there? We're going to be getting cracking with Chef Clem, and it's fantastic. I love it all. Chef Clem, welcome. It's good to have you here on a Monday.
It's good to be here on a Monday.
Man. And does it feel good to be alive?
It feels so good.
So good to be alive. And nothing screams love better than freshly baked anything.
Freshly baked anything, and I agree with you. And I like that you said, do I feel good today?
Yeah.
And I do.
Yeah.
And therefore, we should celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
What better way to celebrate than with cake, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to just be baking every day. That's the new rule.
I love that.
We're doing a delicious coffee cake, like you said, with some crushed chuckles on the top.
You didn't need to say anything else. You said chuckles, you said cake, you said coffee, all the things that I love in one. I'm sorry,
Okay,
you've got my heart.
I'm going to need you to brew a coffee for me.
Okay,
I'm going to
fantastic.
start on the cake.
This is new packaging,
It's
eh?
the new packaging.
Wow.
Allow me to introduce you
Cafe. Hello.
to the new packaging. I mean, how beautiful does that look? It also looks great. I've got a shelf in my kitchen with the coffee selection, and it's so aesthetic. I just display all the packaging. It looks
But that's
beautiful.
what you want to do. It does. It literally lends itself to that sort of function.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've got butter and sugar in the bowl. They're already creamed together. And I'm just going to loosen up a little bit. I'll give this back to you because I'm going to also ask you to make the icing. You are cooking today.
I know, today I'm earning my keep in the kitchen, to be honest. It's not just about fritting. It's literally about getting involved in the process. Which I love when it comes to baking, is that people can get involved and not feel like they're laboring.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so in we're going to go with some vanilla.
Yeah.
And we're going to add our eggs. So we're doing coffee because I feel like people consume more coffee during winter. I just feel like because they want more hot drinks.
I feel like it definitely does grow in popularity around the winter period because people want that like hug in a mug vibes.
Right,
like, where you
and that's
feel
what
like you are
coffee
being
is.
hugged from a cup or a mug. So I do love that, yes.
And it's also the aroma of coffee. I feel like it's so comforting. So why not just add it to a cake? And then it starts baking, you get like the fresh baked smell plus the cake. It's amazing. All right.
Okay, cool. So you've got your coffee
I'll
in
take
here.
that.
Yes,
Thank you
let's
so
go.
So our coffee at Woolies is expertly sourced. We know this, 100% Arabica.
Yes. Sustainable?
So sustainable that our capsules also recyclable. We know all about that.
Yes.
We're all about the sustainability. So
Yes.
if you need a light roast or the dark roast, we have you covered.
I love
if you
that.
need beans, we got you. If you need grounds, we got you. You need capsules, we got you.
I love that. That entire range definitely does speak to someone like me who really has taken to the liking of coffee. Because, yeah, you are right. I mean, you've got that ground coffee. Ooh, you've got the beans. The Italian blend obviously is all of the hype at the moment.
Exactly.
Which is what we're using now.
And you use the capsules.
We're traveling.
So delicious. Okay.
Wow.
So if you had to pick one of those for your home, which one would you choose?
I would definitely go with the single origin Costa Rican. Because, you know, Costa Rica, they know their coffee's there. They do coffee so well. Okay, so that's mixed so nicely. I like how the coffee and the chuckles sort of incorporate and come together. The chocolate with coffee.
Yeah,
that's a nice pairing. Goes well together.
I added a bit of cocoa to this mixture as well. And like you said, chocolate and coffee go so well together. When I make a chocolate cake, I add a little bit of espresso powder.
Oh, wow, nice.
When I make a coffee cake, I add a bit of cocoa.
Nice. I love that. Okay, so now you're getting it all incorporating and mixing together. If you want the recipe, please go onto expressoshow.com. You will find all of the ingredients and very few you're going to need. But of course, you can go onto woolworths.co.za for all of the difference. Go on this coffee journey and explore this entirely brand new range. Read all about it, the story behind it as well. What are you going to need me to do with this?
Give this a good gentle bashing. Okay. Think about...
Gentle enough.
That's gentle. But then think about one of the presenters that just makes you angry and makes you want to... Oh, no, you see, I like that because we don't have those presenters.
They don't exist. They don't exist. But I think of traffic.
Yes. Think of load shedding. Increasing petrol prices. Yes. Wow. Okay.
And the prices.
That's enough. That's enough. That's enough. Okay, so I'm adding that coffee and that milk to the cake batter. And I'm trying not to get it everywhere. You're doing a very good job. That's going to be for our icing. Okay, so we're almost there. This batter's so easy to bring together. What? I'm messing because I'm left-handed, but I'm doing things with the right hand.
But a chef who doesn't mess in the kitchen when they're creating and making the magic, are they really a chef? I don't know. I really don't know about them.
Look at the Tapiso, you've done a really good job. I'm going to ask you if you can pour this batter into our loaf tin.
Yep.
Wait. Hey, why not? Add some. It's not part of the recipe.
It's a part of it?
No, but add some. Add some.
You could play with it just a little bit. Oh, my word. I mean, I'm sorry. This is all the goodness. This is all the goodness.
Look at us going off script. Okay, Tapiso, I'm giving this to you. Here we go. And then a silicone spatula. There's your dish, your loaf tin. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the one that we baked off already, and we're going to ice it.
All right.
Tapiso, you did it. This is really well crushed. Well done.
Yeah.
Traffic really got you going.
You know what? You are my #1 hype man. I love it, and I'm here for all of it. Okay, so how much of it do I go with? Like
all of it.
Half of the tray or all of it? Okay.
All of it. All of it.
All right. I'll go in there. I do want to lick some of this. Though,
you can. As the co-chef on this one, you get the bowl. You get to lick it out.
You go for it. Do your thing there.
Okay. So what I did was I took some icing sugar and I took some butter. And I just creamed the two together. How delicious is that?
Parfait. I love it. The coffee is coming through heavy.
So this is just that butter and icing sugar. And make sure you make it like a nice amount of it.
Yeah.
Because
you do want to cover the whole cake, right? The whole loaf. Listen, go on to woolworths.co.za, go on this journey, explore the Italian roast. It's really fantastic. The Costa Rican is my favorite. You're going to love it too, I think. Read the story of how Woolworths does this, but also go on expressoshow.com and get the recipe. Go off script if you want to. Who's going to stop you? Nobody. But best of all, enjoy it and serve it with love. Oh, Chef Clem, I love that. It looks so good. Thank you. Man.
A newly qualified chef looking to pocket a whopping 15,000 Rand in cash and the title of Excellent Young Chef for 2022? Then listen up and enter now. Entry is easy. Simply follow the Excellent Young Chef competition link on Afternoon Express's Facebook, Twitter or Instagram pages and upload a video of you sharing your name, a short intro about yourself, when and where you qualified and your signature Excella dish using Excella Thai long grain rice, sunflower oil or mayonnaise. Entries close on Friday, the 3rd of June at midday. T's and C's do apply and can be found on afternoonexpress.co.za.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Yes. It's so lovely to have you join us on a beautiful Monday morning.
That's right. Listen, I got into that batter. I think I might slide.
Everybody's
all there for you.
Everybody's trying so hard to resist in the kitchen, especially with the food that's coming out, but no one has succeeded so far. Everybody's tucked in.
And we've had a powerful morning, and the quote for the day comes from our lovely guest radio personality, Sherlyn Barnes, who joined us this morning in the studio to speak openly about her own mental health journey and has been instrumental in destigmatizing anxiety and mental health issues. And that really is a very important reminder. She dropped some truth bombs throughout the morning.
Bombs indeed. I love this quote from her, and I want to read it out to you again. We did repeat this earlier this morning, but this is what it says. You are worthy of the love, light, and lekker vibes that you so graciously share with the world.
Oh, man.
Absolutely love it. You are worthy of the love, the light, and lekker vibes that you so graciously share with the world.
And it's beautiful because it just inspires us all to go and actually just be the light and the lekker vibes, right? Yeah. This goes hand in hand with the words of Prem Rawat, who last week said we have to start with us and show kindness and grace to ourselves first, right?
Are you going to love somebody else if you don't love yourself, Tubbs?
Thank you. Hashtag RuPaul.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, have you guys ever met someone at the wrong time? Like the right person, but you're like, the time's not right.
Literally, when you think about it right now, it breaks my heart, but I definitely did do that. It was a tough one.
It is always a tough one. Well, here to ease that with his amazing voice is the talented and very young Will Lindley. He's been on the music scene and he's been performing for us throughout the day. Here he is with his final song, Wrong Time.
I'm obsessed!
Blonde hair covering my eyes. All that I remember are the blurry nights. Two people speeding through the suburbs at 95. I'm trying to say I didn't love you, but that's a lie. Cold air, skinny dip at night. I'm still finding sand inside my shoes sometimes. Show me all your cards and the secrets that you keep inside. It's not enough that we only love the feeling. Oh, 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 oh. I should get a new life if you see another guys. Oh, 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 oh. I know that I want her even if she's not mine. She was the right girl at the wrong time. Asked me for a light and burned the butterflies. She made my heart stop, but it wasn't the kind that makes you fall in love. It was a flat line. I'm trying to move on, back up the memories and move on. But nothing can change that she's the right girl at the wrong time. And I know that I want her even if she's not mine, yeah. Death stare, baby blue eyes. It hurts to look at how you made me feel alive. Cause my friends will see your friends and they all know what we're thinking. Nothing's been the same since you made me kill my feelings. Oh, 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 oh. I should get a new life if you see another guys. Oh, 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 oh. Cause I know that I want her even if she's not mine. She was the right girl at the wrong time. Asked me for a light and burned the butterflies. She made my heart stop, but it wasn't the kind that makes you fall in love. It was a flat line. I'm trying to move on, back up the memories and move on. But nothing can change that she's the right girl at the wrong time. And I know that I want her even if she's not mine, yeah. Right girl at the wrong time. Don't advise for anyone, my heart is blind. It makes goodbyes worse, but I'm alright. And I know that I want her even if she's not mine. She was the right girl at the wrong time. Asked me for a light and burned the butterflies. She made my heart stop, but it wasn't the kind that makes you fall in love. It was a flat line. I'm trying to move on, back up the memories and move on. But nothing can change that she's the right girl at the wrong time. And I know that I want her even if she's not mine, yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, yes. Will, come on, take a bow. Sir, what a talent. You are sensational.
On your Feel Good Breakfast show.
What an electric sound. I'm telling you, this guy in the next few years is going all over the world and you're going to hear this sound everywhere. But you heard it here on Mzansi first, of course. And tomorrow, don't forget, we've got an incredible helpline for you guys to reach out to with all the magic. Of course, it's 063-408-8863. And that's for any questions you might have relating to COVID. Come through now on that line and talk to us because we're going to be unpacking everything tomorrow right here on your Feel Good.
Oh, we love you. See you tomorrow. Mwah.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Here's to the sweet taste of time off, celebrating the lust of summer, and to family memories made with love by Clover.
Never.